Consistent, a necessity of living with the consequences under pressure, under pressure.
Offensively, Zane Parekh is on another level.
Play for bronze if they can get into the game and stay in the game with Finland. There's sort of a realization that winning a medal would mean something.
Well, it means something. It certainly does, especially when you haven't been in a medal game in 2 consecutive years.
St. Paul, Minnesota on the rarest of gold medal days. No Canada or USA in the big game for the first time in a decade. The Americans done, the Canadians about to battle Finland for bronze. Spectacular day of hockey yesterday in the semifinals. Just did not end the way these fans wanted to. And so they're here a few hours early, hoping Canada can leave with a medal. As we welcome you inside the home of the Minnesota Wild here on Medal Day at the 2026 World Juniors. How you doing, Canada? James Duffy alongside Cheryl Pounder, Frankie Corrado, and Jeff O'Neill. The gold medal game, Czechia and Sweden, will be historic for whoever wins. About 4 hours away, but first up, the battle of the brokenhearted. And no Canadian kid grows up dreaming of winning the bronze medal in the World Juniors. It's not in their DNA. So this is always Canada's toughest game and rarest. They've only won one bronze medal in the last 24 years, 2012 in Calgary, albeit they've only been in 3 bronze medal games. And so 16 hours after the tears and after the heartbreak, they try to muster up the energy in a game they never wanted to play. To get you ready for it, Gord Miller and Mike Johnson.
It is much better to win this game than to lose it, though. And for these two teams coming off tough losses, this is going to be hard to regroup. The Finns, that long shootout loss to the Swedes, and Canada came back and tied it late. They lost late again to the Czechs.
I think James summed it up really well. Historically, Finland has been better at rallying for this bronze medal game than Canada. And for Canada, how recent it will feel that they went through this roller coaster last night against Czechia. The comebacks, the energy, the emotion, the late losses, and all the frustration and heartache. And so this game is less about physical energy and less about tactics and breakouts. And it's mostly about, can they rebalance themselves emotionally, mentally, to put yesterday behind them and prioritize winning. It's one thing to say that we have pride and we want to win a medal, we want to go home with something. It's another thing to believe it. And that is the greatest challenge. But trust me on this, 20 years from now, they will mean they wish they won a medal if they don't put a good effort forward. So that will be their challenge. Can they play something like their best game after such heartbreak yesterday?
And they're also playing for a legacy since Canada's program of excellence began in 1982, when Canada began sending national teams every year to the World Junior Championship. Canada has never gone 3 consecutive years without a medal at the World Junior. James?
Thank you, boys. We'll get back to you for the call in just a few minutes' time. Yes, it's been a weird last 5 years. The gold in Edmonton in dramatic fashion, the gold in Halifax also in overtime in dramatic fashion, and then the all-time worst back-to-back 5th place finishes, and now it will be 3rd or 4th in Minneapolis. And you could feel the drain from coast to coast when that empty net goal went in for Czechia. So imagine how it felt for the Canadian boys who dreamt of playing for a gold medal. How do they recover? Can they recover?
James, I said it to you in the pregame show, there's always somebody watching these types of games. It's a difficult situation to amp yourself up for a bronze medal game because, like you said, it's not part of the dream to play in this game. But if I'm Dale Hunter, I would tell the guys, I know that the GM, different executives addressed the guys this morning, it's whoever's going to play and play the right way, you're going to play a lot today. I know there's a bunch of guys dressed, but that's how I would approach the game. You're going to go out there and play hard. You're going to have the best opportunity to get the most ice time.
These guys have been through a lot. They've been together for about a month now. They've only seen each other for meals, practices, games, hotels. So they've built a lot of friendships, a lot of bonds. It would mean a lot for these guys to have something to show for it and win your last game. It always feels better when you win your last game as opposed to losing your last game.
No Brady Martin today, who's in a sling after that injury last night. That hurt Canada as it messed up the lines. Sometimes you look to one guy to lead who might be a player who might be critical for Canada today.
I'm looking at Tisha Ginla. I think he's been the most consistent player throughout the tournament from game one right through the semifinals. You've watched what he's been able to do, get to open ice. We've seen the breakaways. We've seen the sharpshooter changing the angle of his shot. We've seen the urgency and his ability to read off of the pressure that's on either hip and really make things happen with his 4 goals and 3 assists. Listen, I've really liked his game, guys. He's got 20 shots on goal. He's had a game-winning goal. Overall, I've been very, very impressed with him. I want to see him continue that through this bronze medal game.
Carter George lost the starting job to Jack Ivankovic. Ivankovic is not playing today, nothing to do with his play last night. He was actually terrific in the 3rd period and kept them in the game. But the quick turnaround, they go back to George.
It's fitting because there's a chance for redemption for Carter George. And the rest of Team Canada. Carter George has had to stew in it a little bit longer. He was the starting goaltender. It was his job to lose. Ultimately, there were too many goals that were going in. It never felt like it was overly comfortable for him. So he gets a chance at redemption. He had to wait a little longer than the rest of his teammates who go back to back. You never want to sit with it, but these guys get an opportunity to win a game here and feel better about themselves as they leave this tournament for a lot of these players for the last time.
Jimmy, I'm fortunate enough to see Darcy Tucker and Brian McCabe and Todd Harvey and give them the gold medal bro hug. It feels pretty good to still talk about those times. To do the bronze bro hug would still be pretty special. It would be better than no medal at all.
Well, I think it's a privilege to put the jersey on, and how many guys would want to be wearing that jersey right now. So I also think it says a lot about you in the adversity and whether you can push back stepping on the ice today, because it is not easy. It is so difficult to win. Can these guys go out there today? Can they insert themselves into this game and find a way to win a bronze medal?
It's a bit of a character revealer, right? Like we've seen GMs and scouts here all week long. It's a little character revealer.
Later today will mark the end of a 13-year run of Canada, Finland, or the U.S. winning gold. It will be Sweden or Czechia. But first, the battle of the brokenhearted. Who can recover faster?
On this Monday afternoon in St. Paul, Minnesota, it's the final day of the 50th World Junior Championship. It'll be Canada and Finland in the bronze medal game at the World Junior Championship. Canada's won 7 straight against the Finns. The last Finnish win, the quarterfinals in 2019. They played 1 bronze medal game before in 2012. In Calgary, Canada won it 4-0. The officials for this game are from the United States. Referee John Linder and Adam Tobias, and linesman Albert Ankers-Järni and Matthew Heinen. And to absolutely no one's surprise for the Finns, Petri Rimpinen gets to start again, and for the 2nd straight year, he has played every single minute of every game for Finland, an .883 save percentage after a .933 last year. And Carter George, an .844 save percentage for Canada. His last game was their last round robin game against the Finns. He allowed 4 goals on 18 shots. So Lauri Mikkola tries to guide his team back into the medals. They lost last year. And now Dale Hunter will try to add to his medal collection a gold medalist in 2020 in Czechia.
You guys are set. Boys, it's been a long week. It's been a great week. Let's remember who supported us to get here. Let's have one last dance, eh? One more time.
Finns silver medalists a year ago. And they bring back 11 back from that team. Only 4 can return, so a team packed with 19-year-olds for the Finns. Canada, by contrast, can bring back 10 from this team next year.
And you wonder if the 4 extra hours between games is going to help Finland, or if you just wonder, a little more time to recover emotionally as well for this game.
They gave up 4 breakaways in overtime.
Also had 3 cracks at winning the game in a shootout.
So Baudouin put that wide, and poking at it is Cole Reshny. Baudouin centers it all alone. Desnoyers with a chance, and a glove stop by Rippinen. 26 seconds in.
What a chance for Caleb Desnoyers, who amazingly is still looking for his first goal of the tournament. He's been really good in this energy line. All alone in front of Rippinen. Tries to go quick backhand, and Rippinen, that's really aggressive, staying square, but also staying up. And to slide out and towards Desnoyers takes the angle away so that even the elevated puck ends up right into the glove.
Off the draw, another chance, and that shot by Martone goes up and out, so no Brady Martin for Canada this afternoon. Liam Greentree draws in, playing the 4th line. Canada once again goes with 12 forwards, 8D, as Desnoyers gets some attention on the Canadian bench.
It's been a busy 2 weeks. They play a lot of games. Their 7th game, only a few days off in there. And yes, they're young, but they will be banged up by the end of this tournament.
And they will be exhausted when they go back to their club teams.
Good luck.
Historically, that's been the issue.
It's like you almost want to give them a week off just to get away and recalibrate.
Correct, lifts that ahead. Canada playing in the bronze medal game for the 6th time, as that's offside at the Canadian line. They're 3-2. Previously, they've lost the last 2.
And we heard the hallway before the game, and the Canadian players trying to acknowledge that this game matters. And we're leaving a legacy. Get a medal. Don't just mail it in. And that's easy to say. It's probably harder to do. Let's see if they can do it here.
Canada's bronze medal game losses were in 2013 and 2014 after their win in 2012 against the Finns. Bring it back out as Hage. Hage works in, but O'Reilly throws it across. O'Reilly backhand shot, scores! Michael Hage with a pass. O'Reilly at the finish. And Canada's got a 1-0 lead, 1:10 seconds in.
It's Sam O'Reilly who's inserted on the right side of this line because of Brady Martin's injury. And he has a perfect three-way passing play. Hage supports underneath. Good touch by McKenna. Dragging around the defender. And Sam, pretty good hands in tight for Sam O'Reilly to pull this one back against the grain and tuck it in past Rippinen. Goalie contact doesn't matter as you're putting the puck in the net. Nice feed from Michael Hage. And Sam O'Reilly was awarded one of the players of the tournament for Canada yesterday. Continues his strong play.
So O'Reilly has his 3rd of the tournament on the sweep feed from Hage. And for the Finns, once again trailing, 5th straight game they have trailed at some point. They opened with back-to-back wins over Denmark and Latvia, then lost in overtime to the Czechs. Lost the last round robin game 7-4 to Canada. That crazy game where the first 4 shots went in. It was 3-3 in the first period. But then the overtime win against the United States, where they tied it up with 8 minutes to go, gave up a lead, and then won it in OT. And then the shootout loss to the Swedes in the semifinal yesterday. Vestorinen taps that back. Got it back up by the captain, Aaron Kimaharju. Hemming moves in, bangs that wide of the goal, and Verhoff plays it back around. Cole Reshny. Back to Ethan McKenzie. And Keaton Verhoff with it. Taking off his stick by Vananen. And Miettinen lays that back for his Everett Silvertips teammate, Vananen. Baudouin. Lead pass to Desnoyers. Now moved in by Reshny. Banks it back down to the finish zone as Baudouin goes after it. Desnoyers moves that back. Aitchison shoots. And shot by Keishon. Aitchison was blocking, gets it right back. Aitchison centers it. And Baudouin missed on that.
Miettinen was out of it. He got that one right in the boot. He struggles to get to the bench.
Carter George leaves it there for Ben Danford, who will rejoin the Brantford Bulldogs. of the Ontario League.
They should just charter a plane from this tournament. They have so many players in it.
Now centers for Misa with a backhand shot, and Michael Misa turned away in tight by Rimpinen.
You like it, what you've seen from Canada so far. Skating off the puck, getting up the ice, supporting it well. Martone, 2 shoulder checks and a hard backhand pass to Misa. Doesn't have a lot of angles on his backhand there, but that's a good play. Gavin McKenna feels the pinch, gets the support, and then you beat guys back up the ice. Finland uncharacteristically not supporting their defenseman in behind. Is up a 2-on-1 early.
And with the assist, Michael Hage on the O'Reilly goal moves into the tournament point lead with 12.
And that's not what Michael Hage wants. But you'd like to lead the tournament in scoring if you can. It's not a bad thing. And it comes with good play. I think a lot of eyebrows were raised when he wasn't named one of the top 3 forwards. He's been exceptional.
And that's named by the team itself. The management staff for each team names the top 3 players in addition to the players of the game. As Reed moves that back around to Misa. Misa in for Martone. Back at the point, Reed.
This guy get off the
rack with a shot kicked up by Rimpinen. Ruohonen moves it in, and a shot scored. Arttu Väylä on Finland's first shot of the game, ties it at 1.
Väylä, who scored the overtime winner against the U.S. in the quarterfinals, joining the rush. And it's a 4-on-2, 4-on-3. And a nice good play, cross and drop, push the defenders back. And this is shades of the last game. First shot, banking off a couple sticks and other things on the way past Carter George, posted in. And we have another tie game early between Canada and Finland.
Their game on New Year's Eve was crazy. Wound up with Canada winning at 7-4.
That's how Canada plays against a good team. They go up and down, and there's chances at both ends. And the reality for this team.
George out to play it. And held at the line. That long shot by Mika Jokinen goes wide. Vestergaard try to slide that ahead. Hage takes that away and finds O'Reilly. And O'Reilly peels it behind the goal. Long lead pass for Hage. Shifts that back down to the finish zone. And here is Jokinen with it. Brought back up by Nicholas Nukari, who's back in the finish lineup. Didn't play in the semifinal game. That centering pass tapped wide. Good feed there for Jesper Kutta. McKenna tried to chip that out. Got it back up by Carson Karls. Back across for Harrison Brunick, who will rejoin the Pittsburgh Penguins when this tournament is over. And Koivu moves out ahead. Atos Koivu is back in the finish lineup at being a healthy scratch in their last 2. And he was benched in the Canada game on the ice for 2 goals in his first 2 shifts. 2 goals against his first 2 shifts. And that skips by McKenzie and back out. Racing back is Verhoff to pick it up. Ethan Verhoff. Up for Luchenko. Luchenko moves in and shoots. Ripping in the save on that. Now, knocked down by Liam Greentree. Feeds it back for Verhoff. And a quick shot. Coots scores. Braden Coots. And the scoring binge continues in Canada-Finland games. It's 2-1. Less than 5 minutes in.
It's good work by Canada in the offensive zone. As they keep working it north to south, and Coots in traffic slides toward the net. That's a tough pass to take from Verhoff. Just wheel and fire, and I'm not sure if that clips perhaps the eminent stick on the way through. Rimpinen looks pretty fooled by it as it goes blocker side. And Braden Coots, who hasn't had a dynamic offensive tournament, just kind of finding an energy roll, gets one late.
So 1 minute and 34 seconds after the Finns tied it, Canada retakes the lead.
Here we go again.
Oh boy. Danford plays offside at the Finnish blue line.
Everybody loves scoring. You know, Braden Coots would have come into this tournament thinking that he might have a bigger role than he ended up having. But he's He's played in the NHL this year. He made the Canucks out of training camp.
The third youngest player ever to play for them.
Also, Greentree getting an assist on that goal as well. So that gets him on the board as he's just playing his third game.
Greentree, the oldest player in the tournament, turned 20 on January the 1st. You can't be older than that.
And even if you are not playing for this team, you're an exceptional player. Greentree is a first rounder to the LA Kings. Because you don't play, maybe the perception is that you're not up to that kind of level. He is.
Wide pass, glove down, in comes Reshny, great move, rip it and save, loose puck in front, knocked down by Vananen.
Desnoyers with the lob shot.
Miettinen looking for Hemming. Now Reshny back with it. Ball's in front of Keishon Aitchison. At the line. Miettinen tries to work that free and does for Saarelainen. Saarelainen walks out of the corner, feeds that back to Jokinen, long shot. That was blocked by Danford. And Reshny back with it. Around to Danford. That pass is picked up, brought back in by Ruohonen. Saarelainen feeds it back for Tuba. Valila swings that back to Tuba. That shot was blocked by Danford. Saarelainen for Tuba. Sharp angle shot at the side of the goal. Just sitting behind the net, picked back up by Tuba. Leo Tuba for Ruohonen. Back to Valila. To Ruohonen. Tuba slides that back in for Ruohonen. Rink wide, a hard shot by Tuba, slammed wide. Gimla goes hunting for the puck. Jokinen gets there first for the Finns. Jokinen up for Ruohonen. Slam back down to the Canadian zone. Cameron Reed on it. Around for Parak. Greentree for Misa. And again, almost off to the races there. 9-1, the shots on goal for Canada, and a 2-1 lead. And still to come later today, the gold medal game between the Czechs and the Swedes, the first ever gold medal game meeting between those two countries. Now played back for Iginla. Moves in, Iginla. Plays it back down to Martone. For Iginla, that skipped away from him. Iginla trying to work that free, does for a moment. Martone had it skip away from him, and it's brought back by Oni Calto. Calto winds in. Poke check by Martone, and a good pad save there by George. Yeminen tries to work that back in deep, and Misa has it back for Canada. Around to Parak. Shoveled back up by Martone, back down to the finish, and as McKenna goes looking for it, Yeminen takes that away from him. Off the side of the goal, picked off by McKenna. Gavin McKenna slides that back. The pass was in behind. Riley's just missed it. Carls slapped at the center to O'Reilly. Lead pass finds McKenna from Brunick. McKenna centers it. That's knocked down by Suvanto. And Koivu has it back. The Finnish management group named Oliver Suvanto one of their top 3 players in the tournament. 17-year-old. The top prospect for the upcoming draft.
Played on the first line in game 1 when Miettinen wasn't available, but then when the Everett WHLer came back to the line, he slid down a little bit.
Valila works it across the line, but the play is offside. 2-1 Canada leads here. It's O'Reilly. And then it's Coots.
Do you mind if I ask you a question? What do you make?
Well, apparently the average person makes 6 friends a year, makes 7 jokes a day, and makes about 19 people blush. We'll make 1.4 babies. Make sense of that math. On average, you make a life that is by no means average. And then you make a mean grilled cheese. Scotiabank. You're richer than you think.
Get a $3 classic breakfast when you buy any coffee at Tim's. So is it an iced coffee and a $3 classic breakfast wrap morning? Maybe a sandwich and an iced latte morning, a pre-shift sausage wrap morning, or a double-double crossword morning. Any coffee at Tim's gets you a $3 classic breakfast sandwich or wrap.
You see that? That's me. I'm a random. I make sure anything that could happen will happen. I'm the big script flipper. So before you bet more than you can afford to lose, remember, random is always in play.
Moments ago, the local organizers honored David Branch, who passed away earlier today at the age of 77. Dave was a longtime CHL commissioner, longtime OHL president, and a man who left an indelible mark on the game for some 40-plus years. And in addition, more than 30 years, and someone who loved the sport, wanted to make it better, and was a leader in every respect. Our condolences to his family and his many, many friends. No! Breshny busts in. Gonna leave that for Baudouin. That's not great. Picked back up by Betty Väisänen. Väisänen sends that rink wide for Vannanen. And Miettinen couldn't corral that pass from Hemming as Baudouin's got it back. Well, Baudouin works in, drops it back to Aitchison, trying to slide that back. Now Baudouin with it. And the puck skips off a stick, up and out.
Keishon Aitchison, who came into this tournament an offensive force with Barrie this year, 19 goals. Had to try to embrace a shutdown wall with Zane Parekh taking a lot of the offensive time for Canada, but you see him jumping up in the rush, and you wonder if just this game just gets a little bit loose to start, if that doesn't help Canada get engaged in the game.
Parekh a point off the all-time Canadian defense record for points in a single World Junior, shared by Brian McCabe in 1995 and Alex Pietrangelo in Saskatoon in 2010. Brought in by Iginla. That shot is blocked and brought back by Tuba. Tuba works in. And Misa swatted that away. Parekh plays it back in the corner. Intercepted by Ruohonen. He centers it for Tuba. He was poke checked by Reed. And Martone's got it back. Porter Martone slides that back to center ice. Picked up there by Iginla. Drops it off to Reed. Cameron Reed winds in. Pivots back along the boards. Crisscrossing there with Parekh. He drops it for him. In comes Parekh back to Reed for Parekh. And Parek's long shot knocked down by Ribbon and through the traffic. There's Misa back with it. Back at the point, Reed. Across to Parekh to Martone. Here is Parekh winding in. Gets the lane and shoots. That goes off a stick and wide. Serolainen back with it for the Finns. Serolainen comes busting in. Taken off the puck there by Parekh. That's going to be a penalty to Canada. And so the Finns will go to the power play. 9:38 remaining here in the opening period. 2-1 Canada the lead. But Finland with the power play when we come back.
We are made in Canada. Homegrown, Canadian-owned and operated. We're neighbors, friends, family. We're more than just made in Canada. We're a fabric of Canada.
Real strength isn't pushing through the pain, it's relieving it. Advil targets pain caused by inflammation for fast, effective relief. Because when there's less pain, there's more gain. Advil, that's real strength.
Came for the tourney?
Journey is a contest for knights. You a knight?
I could squire for you, sir. Every knight needs a squire. You look like you need one more than most.
If I could call myself a champion, maybe House Targaryen might take me in.
Targaryens, they're incestuous aliens and tyrants.
So, Sir Duncan the Tall, how good a knight are you?
Finland will go to the first power play of the game as Zane Parekh gets a well-deserved hold. He got all he could handle out of this one. He tackled Serolainen on the way to the net. Serolainen has been a good energy player for Finland with good speed, and Parekh drags him down. Now, the penalty kill has been very good for Canada. 16 of 18 in this tournament. And coming off a year last year, they took so many penalties in just 5
Canada
games.
number 19, 2 minutes for holding.
They've been much better at staying disciplined as well.
Their special teams been excellent in this year's tournament. Face off, won by O'Reilly. Sent back down the ice by Aitchison. Beaulieu back to pick it up for the Finns, who are 4 for 19 of a power play with 4 different goal scorers.
They couldn't get one in overtime. They had a 4-on-3 for 2 minutes against Sweden.
And just could not break through.
Hit one crossbar, but could not find the goal they needed.
Beaulieu plays it back across. Kuta to Beaulieu. Bannon. Saralainen parked in front. Back at the point. Beaulieu. In for Bannon. Drops that back. Hard shot. Rebound. Oh, what a stop on the rebound by George. Carter George, 2 nifty stops there. Now Beaulieu back with it. Leads it back across. And couldn't have that shot blocked by Aitchison. Beaulieu fires again off the blocker of George. Finns are 0 for 4 in the power play against the Swedes in that game yesterday. Walking is Bannon. Centers it. Saralainen missed on that. Kuta feeds it back to Beaulieu. Here's Bannon again. Back from Miettinen to Bannon. Walks right in and shoots. George makes a stop on that. Danford clears the rebound. And diving is both way, but can't knock it out. Picked up by O'Reilly. Across to Aitchison. Off the boards and not out. Held by Saralainen. 30 seconds to go on the power play. Miettinen drops that back for Beaulieu. Miettinen shoots. Scores! Through the legs of George, and the game is tied at 2. And the clearing attempt didn't get out, and the puck winds up in the net.
Minute 35 straight on the power play, and a lot of that in the offensive zone. Aitchison had the puck on a stick, couldn't get it out. Riley had it, couldn't get it out. George made a couple good saves, but he doesn't see this one, and it's such a change-up. Does George go down and start to get back up? He's on his knees, and then is reestablishing his left leg up, and the puck just drifts harmlessly through the legs to tie the game.
Miettinen gets his 2nd of the tournament, also scored against Canada on New Year's Eve. He has 18 goals in 27 games this year for Everett in the Western Hockey League.
A lot of it with his partner, Bannon, who plays on his wing here. Also plays on his wing in Everett. Okay, so 2-2 relatively early.
Yeah.
We've seen this.
Sounds familiar. Brunick got in the way of that pass. Now Brunick picks it up again. Up he goes to Greentree. Lays that pass in for Luchenko. That's knocked away. And Greentree plays it back in. Liam Greentree, the native of Oshawa. Plays for Windsor in the OHL. Nieminen. Poke check there by Luchenko, and it's fired back down to the Canadian zone. Ethan McKenzie back to pick it up. Waits for the line change to be completed. And McKenzie steps out. Up ahead for Brunick. That pass intercepted, brought back by Vestarinen. And George at the plate, slams that to the sideboards. Pass ahead to O'Reilly, streaking with McKenna. O'Reilly drops for McKenna. Gavin McKenna drops it back, and that shot by Hayes was blocked in front by Atos Koivu. Those two have come together before the 2 Montreal drafts. Koivu and Page had an exchange at the Summer Showcase tournament. Later made up, but that was Koivu stepping in front of the shot there and taking it flush. McKenna trying to work that freight. Stepping up is Parak. Behind him, it's Page backing up. And Page works in with Canada, changing that's intercepted. And brought back by Bannon. Bannon for Miettinen, drops it back in the high slot. That shot by Nukari was kicked away. Miettinen trying to knock that down. And Carson Carls collide in the corner. And Misa has that for McKenna. Misa had his pocket picked there by Miettinen. Now Misa shovels that into Martone. One-on-one with Nieminen. In comes Martone. Canada changing again as Martone plays that in. Looks around to Misa. Drops it back to Karls. Karls a wrist shot that's knocked away by Rippinen. Ruohonen brings it back for the Finns. Chips it back down to the Canadian zone and goes after it. Knocked away by Karls. Gathered back up by Michael Misa. Or Ginla trying to thread his way through center ice, but it's knocked away by Tuba. For Ruohonen. That centering pass just missed Seralainen as Baudouin pokes at that. Martone lost the battle of Seralainen, who pivots back in the corner. And Aitchison has it back for Canada. Lifts it back down to the finish zone. As Väisänen goes back, being trailed there by Baudouin. Inside 5 to go here in the opening period. A 2-2 tie between Canada and Finland. Verhoff with it. That's knocked away and picked up by McKenzie. And McKenzie with a head of steam. Winds it across the line. He's brought down by Tuba. Held at the line by Reshny. Cole Reshny winds in. Gets it on Boilius. The centering pass bounced away from Baudouin. And Tuba has it back. Up ahead for Kuta. And chipped back down to the Canadian zone as McKenzie goes back. Watched there by Westergaard. Verhoff to the line, not out. And picked back up by Pikarinen. Point shot from Valala, kicked out by George. Here's Valala again. Plays that back in the corner. And Kuta collides there with Fenway. Verhoff backhands that back around for McKenzie. It's a hard bump there for Pikarinen, but moves the puck into Coots. Mitsi Jokinen. Back across for Valala. Shots now 10-9. It was 9-1 Canada at one point.
5 in on that power play to even the shot clock a little bit.
Valala lifts it back down to the Canadian end as Perek goes back along with Reed. Centered. Suvanto lost the handle, and it's brought back by Luchenko. Had the quick look, gets a step, and Luchenko pivots back. He's brought down to the corner by Nukuri. Greentree plays it back in the corner for Luchenko. Nukuri finds Vestorinen. He gets crunched down by Luchenko, and Nukuri has that pass picked off by Reed. Snaps it ahead. In comes Hage back for Greentree. Shoots, he put that high. As the puck goes up and out. 2:52 to go here in the opening period. Canada and Finland tied at 2 in the bronze medal game of the 2026 World Junior Hockey Championship.
Hiding muscle and joint pain behind a smile? Voltaren can help. Voltaren contains a clinically proven anti-inflammatory that penetrates deep to relieve your pain and reduce inflammation. Voltaren, the joy of movement.
How are your investments doing?
That was on purpose. You know that topic always throws me off.
Lots of people feel that way. But don't worry, BMO's got advice to spare with any investment guidance and support you need.
I need some.
And you'll get it with personalized investing recommendations to help you feel confident in your decisions.
I'm curious. Do you roll as good as you help?
Folding mode.
It's yes, by the way.
BMO.
From a first game to their biggest game. From ESSO medals to gold medals. We are dedicated to Canada's game.
And all the craziness of the Czechia-Canada game, one of the things that really hurt Canada was this injury to Brady Martin in the first period. He's the initiator, big hit, but his right shoulder gets shaken around a little bit, whether it's on the hit or on the landing. And he's such a pivotal player on that line, on the power play. And you see him with a sling on in the stands. Hopefully he gets better soon, because he opened some eyes this tournament. He was fantastic. Nashville's got a good one in him.
5th overall pick to Nashville in 2025. Began the year in the NHL. Now back with Sault Ste. Marie in the Ontario League.
Get him out of his farm chores for a week or two.
Yeah. Native of Elmira, Ontario. Nieminen banks that pass into Miettinen. Moving on Karls, Miettinen. And Carson Karls knocked that away. Baudouin chopped that to the line, but not out. Beaulieu's a long shot that goes way wide. Still loses. Miettinen trying to dig that free. Now it's brought back ahead by Brunik. Reshny in for Brunik, walking in, centers it off the goalpost. Another great chance in front.
Hey, let him up, guys.
Another post.
Somehow that stayed out.
The cross-check called to Finland on Baudouin after the initial shot. A good center lane or drive by Brunik to activate. And ends up kicking it back to Baudouin.
Finland number 25.
So many posts. There's the cross-check from Beaulieu after Baudouin gets a shot off. Beats Rimpinen, but not the post. Can't find the rebound. So after almost scoring, Canada goes to the power play, which has probably been the best part of their game. 10 for 20.
Wow.
In the tournament, a clean 50%.
McGinley, Perek, and Martin leading Canada with 2 each. This is Reshny for the faceoff, wins it cleanly back to Perek. Here comes Perek with a shot that's tipped wide by O'Reilly. Hage swings away from Ruohonen. Down to O'Reilly, back for Hage. Perek. McKenna has a look, slides that back down to Reshny. At the point, Perek slaps it across. Hage, hard pass, remember Reshny. Fished it free, Hage fires, that goes high. And Perek able to slap that off the line to keep it alive. O'Reilly. Back for Perek, that pass bounced off a couple of skates to Hage. And now Hage spins it back into Reshny for O'Reilly. Perek. McKenna has a look, and McKenna flips that back to Perek. Hage chips it back to Perek. Walks right into the fire, scores! Zane Perek with another. And Perek has now tied the Canadian record for points by a D-man.
We have been dazzled by his ability to shoot the puck. Yeah, another really good power play. You can see why they're 50% and above that. Just moving it around, getting the D on their heels, and then Perek says, I'm gonna attack this seam, head up the whole way, couple lateral shifts, and boy, oh boy, right off the bar and in. And Parents have been doing a lot of that in this tournament. That's 12 points, tying the record. 5th goal, also tying the record.
Now, technically, this is his 6th goal because they haven't changed the one from yesterday.
They took it away finally just before the game, like during warm-up.
They changed it. Okay, good.
They gave it back to Reshny. They've gone back and forth a couple times.
Vestergaard got leveled there by Aitchison.
Oh, no.
And Vestergaard is down outside the Canadian blue line.
But he's okay. Aitchison has delivered some big open ice hits in this tournament. Right off the face-off, Vestergaard trying to wind it up. Oh. Totally clean. Does he get the back of his head with the skate? That's a... Oof. Right square through. And he gets him from the front and the back, and Vestergaard will head to the dressing room, feeling the effects of that. Oof. Big collision right off. You don't expect that off a face-off because nobody's moving that fast. Nothing illegal about that, no penalties called, and 5 goals between both teams in the first period. It's par for the course for these two guys. And that power play is something to watch. And to think we watched it early, the first pre-competition games of Sweden, disjointed,
right, they were
disorganized, no chemistry, no feel, no flow, and now it looks like they're out there against guys without sticks. It's unbelievable how good the first unit is.
So Zane Perek etches his name in the Canadian record book a couple of times. Misa fires, rip it and save. Back at the point, Aitchison shoots, bounces back in front. Misa reaching for it. That's on the shoulder of Calto, who plays it out. And only Calto lifts it back down to the Canadian zone. Misa. Winds through center ice. Up in for Martone, looking for pace and ripping it.
Hey, you get through the same side.
Able to freeze that.
Hey, that's the same side.
All right, so we mentioned Zane Parekh, who's already a pretty accomplished offensive defenseman, puts himself atop the list for most points by a defenseman in a single World Junior tournament with 2 full periods left. They get another power play. Pretty good chance of breaking that one. And we've come to appreciate how quickly and effortlessly he can pop that wrist shot. Not really the big one-timer. It's walking in and finding seams and just letting it go so quickly. Goaltenders have a hard time picking it up. I guess that's how he scored 30. Saginaw back-to-back years.
Now read a long shot. The second defenseman in the history of the Ontario League to have back-to-back 30-goal years. And you may have heard of the first one, Bobby Orr.
30 goals is a good year for a forward.
I was going to say.
For a good forward.
I was going to say, like
the forwards on this team would hope to get into 30. Zane Parekh can do that from the defensive position. Take a look at some of the work he's done, and this is what I'm talking about. Just the flick. He's got that tape right at the toe of his stick, so you know where he shoots it from. Sometimes a little drag, sometimes just a pop. He likes going upstairs. He picks corners. But more impressively, he finds seams. Not just that he can shoot it accurately, but he can get it to the net, which in this tournament can oftentimes be the hardest part.
Poked at by Reed. As time expires here in the opening period, and Finland and Canada have another track meet in the opening 20 minutes. It's 3-2 Canada leading in the bronze medal game at the 50th World Junior Hockey Championship.
The 2026 IIHF World Junior Championship on TSN is brought to you in part by TELUS, now offering 5-year plan price lock on select mobility and internet plans. By Esso, from the Esso Medals program to representing Team Canada, Esso is dedicated to Canada's game. And by Tim Hortons, proudly supporting over 100,000 Timbits hockey players in Canada.
Thank you for your time.
Wow.
Thank you, Kendra.
Tim, you're up. Good morning. So I think really our focus is...
You're frozen.
Are we freezing? No, not today. Not today. Run my numbers, guys. If you hear nothing else I say, I am going to let you down. You want to go with Kendra?
Yes.
Poor cable internet connection.
When the stakes are high, why rely on cable internet? Switch to Canada's most reliable internet technology with a 5-year plan price lock, only from TELUS.
Want to get the most out of CBC News? Use the app or cbcnews.ca for live breaking news on the stories that matter to you. Whether it's local, national, or around the world, turn to CBC News.
Hello, Intact Insurance?
Yeah, we were broken into. It's a mess.
We can send someone tonight. We'll take care of you now.
With full end-to-end support, it's no accident that we can get you back on track faster.
You're really putting me at ease. Thanks for that.
Everybody wants super straight, super white teeth. They want that Hollywood white smile. Sensodyne Clinical White provides 2 shades whiter teeth and 24/7 sensitivity protection. I think it's a great product. It's going to help a lot of patients.
Right now at Harvey's, you can get 2 flame-grilled burgers for just $8. Make it an original, veggie, or one of each, and top them just the way you like. That's 2 burgers for $8, only until February 1st.
Think it can't get any better? We think you should have more. More confidence. More space. More style. And who doesn't want more fun? We all deserve more. That's why there's an SUVW for everyone. Taos, Tiguan, Atlas, Crossport, and the all-electric ID4.
I see you looking.
This holiday season, give the gift of endless entertainment and stream hit series. Plus, Canadian Crave Originals. Get Crave starting at $3.99 a month for your first 3 months. Ends January 12th. Terms apply. Only available at crave.ca/subscribe.
This is the moment we've all been waiting for.
3-2 Canada, Braden Cooch with the second. If he's not in the NHL next year, he could be back with Team Canada in Edmonton, which would be home for him. Sherwood Park, Alberta native, is with Kenzie Lalonde.
Braden, first 20 minutes come and gone. What do you make of the opening frame?
Yeah, I thought it was pretty good, especially after a tough loss yesterday. Biggest part is trying to regroup. I thought we did a good job there.
Your goal tied it up. I mean, as we see when it's you and Finland, it's always a close game. How do you allow that familiarity of playing in a close game, use it to your advantage as this game goes on?
Yeah, I mean, if you want to win, you got to win in close games. It's not always going to be blowouts, especially in a tournament like this. Every team's good, you know, especially when you get to the bronze and gold medal games. So, got to keep going here. Got 2 big periods and looking to get better each period.
Lastly, Zane Parek's goal there to get you guys in the lead is also a tying goal, a historic goal for most points by a Canadian defender at this tournament. What do you make of his efforts over the course of this tournament?
I didn't know that. That's pretty cool. Yeah, no, he's awesome. He's unreal. For sure one of the best defensemen I've ever played with. Just the skill, the way he can find the back of the net so effortlessly through screens and stuff like that. So that's a pretty good milestone for him, and yeah, it's awesome.
Best luck the rest of the way.
Thank you.
James Duthie back with Cheryl Pounder, Frankie Corrado, and Jeff O'Neill. So pretty much identical to New Year's Eve, except not quite the intensity when gold was still a possibility for those two nations back then battling in the group. This is the 7th game now we've watched Team Canada. I think we could pretty much conclude this is the only way they can play is to try to outscore teams.
I think the high wire act has returned, Jimmy. I'm glad for the bronze medal game they didn't morph into some defensive juggernaut. They're giving us some entertainment. There was some great offensive plays in the first period. McKenna made a great play up the wall to Hage, and right here on the 2-on-1, that's great positioning with the stick to keep it on their forehand. And that's the only time you ever go to a backhand on your 2-on-1 if you're going to make that play right there. It's kind of a quick cross-crease play, and O'Reilly puts it in the net. And that Hage, he's been the best player in this tournament that I've seen. I have no idea how he wasn't one of the top forwards. He's been the best player in the tournament. He's unreal. I don't know how he wasn't selected.
I think we were all kind of shaking our heads when he was not named one of Canada's best players, which is done by the management team of Canada last night after that semi-final loss. If you thought after that goal it might be the Slovakia quarters all over again where Canada romped, this is Finland, and that just never happens with them. They let in a goal against Sweden yesterday, 30 seconds in, which was a dump in off Rimpinen's glove, and that would rattle a lot of teams, but they just keep on coming.
That's what they are. They're pesky, they don't go away, and part of the challenge for Canada is some of the things away from the puck that you need to do in order to win games, to really dig in. Well, you have to do it in a game here, and you know, so it's a rush, an odd man rush. You have 3 players back, but you want to see a little more urgency getting back to negate that chance. And then here's another little detail. You're under pressure, okay? You can help out your teammate by trying to get to that puck on the wall. Instead, it's a failed clearing attempt. Finland keeps it going, and that's a puck past Carter George. So those are the little things that really add up in a game where it's hard to find it. You have to find the way to dig in those moments.
Yeah, and if you're tracking back hard and with urgency, now all of a sudden you're connected if the puck does go the other way, and that's something that just has to happen when you're in medal games.
We used to roll out a statistic that the team with the best power play always wins gold at this tournament. There's been some blemishes on that the last couple of years, and this is going to be one of them because Canada's power play has been fantastic the entire tournament, and they're not going to win the gold medal.
Yeah, and it's really tough in yesterday's semifinal action. I mean, at the end of that game, when Misa takes that penalty, they would have had 48 seconds on the power play. But listen, the quarterback is Zane Parek, and he's very unique in the offensive zone, right? It almost looks like he's laissez-faire, right? Because he just recognizes where everyone is. And listen, when you've got everyone on this unit that has actually scored a power play goal, for the PK, it is so extremely difficult to recognize, you know, where the option is. And so he takes that shot effortlessly. I mean, we should put together a pack of all of his goals throughout the tournament, how quick it is on and off of his stick.
In that first meeting against against Finland went back and forth like this, and then Canada able to pull away finally in the third period. They'd like to do that in the second here. Up by a single goal over the Finns. Craig Button will join us next to talk about Gavin McKenna and the draft class of 2026.
Every great play starts with an assist. Off the ice, an assist can change a life. The Hockey Canada Foundation Assist Fund helps kids lace up and play the game we love. Give your greatest assist at hockeycanadafoundation.ca.
From a first game to their biggest game. From ESSO medals to gold medals. We are dedicated to Canada's game.
The ocean supports so much life. See? It's a fish tornado. Ooh, and look at these fish. A great source of omega-3s. Just like NutriSea Omega-3. Tested for high quality. Inspired by the power of nature.
At Wayfair, we bring style to every get-together. Oh, they brought wings.
You mean these wingback chairs? Dive in, everyone. We brought plenty.
We brought the sides.
Everybody remember to leave room.
Yeah, bring that over here.
We brought the ranch. Ooh, that looks like it's fresh from the farmhouse.
Wings and ranch? Now it's a party.
Wayfair, every style, every home.
How are your investments doing?
That was on purpose. You know that topic always throws me off.
Lots of people feel that way. But don't worry, BMO's got advice to spare with any investment guidance and support you need.
I need some.
And you'll get it with personalized investing recommendations to help you feel confident in your decisions.
I'm curious. Do you roll as good as you help?
Falling mode.
It's yes, by the way.
BMO. Think it can't get any better? We think you should have more. More confidence. Wow. More space. More style. And who doesn't want more fun? We all deserve more. That's why there's an SUVW for everyone. Taos, Tiguan, Atlas, Crossport, and the all-electric ID4.
I see you looking.
Everybody wants super straight, super white teeth. They want that Hollywood white smile. Sensodyne Clinical White provides 2 shades whiter teeth and 24/7 sensitivity protection. I think it's a great product. It's going to help a lot of patients.
We're going to be playing the EU All-Stars.
This EU team is spectacular. Players here are overrated.
We are not scared of them.
Hear that, Shorzy?
How you looking at one that you know I love red dress. Hate how it still gets my heart breaking, beating out my chest. Hate how you're laughing and acting like what we had is gone. Girl, it ain't been that long.
Canadians hate how this promo for the gold medal game looks because they wanted Canada on there. But I tell you what a terrific matchup. And Czechia has not won since 2001. It would be massive for them. Sweden has won 1 in 44 years, which is still one of the most craziest stats in hockey. Remarkable. Here's our director of scouting, Craig Button. Gavin McKenna has been #1 on your list for 2026, I think, since he was about 15 years old, and deservedly so. But there were some questions at the start of his college career this year, and now with this tournament, for the first time, is there questions about that?
Yeah, I don't know if there's questions so much about Gavin. We've seen his abilities, and his abilities are pretty significant, as we've seen. But he doesn't stand alone. Like, I'm not saying at #1. I'm talking about there's other players that get themselves into the conversation. Think back to 2016, James. Austin Matthews was the guy. We got into the World Junior Tournament. Patrick Laine and Jesse Puljujarvi served notice. 2017, you look at that draft, Nico Hischier serves notice. Now, Hischier ended up going 1 in the case of Austin Matthews, while there might have been a push there. But players that get themselves in the conversation, I think it speaks volumes about them. Gavin McKenna has had some challenges, and I don't think they're negative challenges, they're positive ones for what he wants to do, being at Penn State and grow his game. But this isn't Connor McDavid. This is not a guy that
and it's not even Connor
clearly.
Bedard, where
No,
the
exactly,
domination,
James,
it's just
right.
not
It
domination
isn't.
like
it
that.
Isn't.
So let's run through the 3 players that could contend for that #1 spot in your mind from their play in this tournament.
Well, I'm going to start with Ivar Stenberg. You have to start there. I mean, he's had a really good season in the SHL with Frölunda, and as you watch him here, his game is built and built and built. The World Junior Tournament isn't the end-all and the be-all, but it's something to evaluate. Chase Reed, he has been phenomenal in Sault Ste. Marie. He has untapped potential. I'll get to him in a second here. And Albert Schmitz, a Latvian defender, maybe like Moritz Seider, that type of a player. We saw Moritz go 6th. He was pretty darn good. So you watch these guys play, they certainly show that they have big-time potential.
Going to be an interesting few months, though. Is there one of those that, you know...
Chase Reed.
That has the best chance, you think, right now?
Well, I watch him play, and I think back to the 2017 draft, and I think Cale Makar. I'm not saying he is Cale Makar, but Cale Makar went 4th.
Right.
He could have gone 1st. He should have gone 1st.
Right. And the Karls and the Verhoff are somewhere in there in the top,
they're
in the top 10.
Viggo Bjork is in the top 10.
Right.
I think Viggo Bjork's had an unbelievable tournament here and really opened up eyes to how good he can be.
It'd be great to watch Verhoff and Karls in Edmonton next year for Canada, a year older, because they have been impressive in this, their first World Juniors. Canada up by 1.
Across Canada, it starts the same way. A love for the game that unites us all. From hometown rinks to the world stage, we rise together. Every stride, every save, every dream, shared by every girl who's ever picked up a stick.
It's her shot, rebound in front, she scores!
Because when one rises, we all rise. Rise as one.
No one wants to wait. Wouldn't life be great if you could just take that bucket list trip today? Upsize for your retirement sooner than later. Or start something totally new on your own timeline. Life goals, financial goals. Invest with Fidelity, and reaching them may just take less time than you think.
The Chevrolet Silverado calls you to a place with no boundaries, where the trail ends and the beyond begins. The Chevrolet Silverado ZR2, built to take you where the trail ends, so you can go beyond.
Drive now and pay later. Make no finance payments for up to 90 days on all Chevrolet vehicles. Visit your local dealership before this offer ends. Chevrolet. Together, let's drive.
Everybody wants super straight, super white teeth. They want that Hollywood white smile. Sensodyne Clinical White provides 2 shades whiter teeth and 24/7 sensitivity protection. I think it's a great product. It's going to help a lot of patients.
Liberté isn't just yogurt. It's an obsession with taste. For the artistic, the audacious. No compromise. An obsession with taste for nearly 100 years. Liberté. Taste always.
We do the job. We don't ask questions.
My mind, it hasn't been right. I'm afraid, but I can't afford to be afraid.
Most people's first instinct is to run from danger. You ran right towards it.
Memory of a Killer. Special 2-night premiere begins Sunday, January 25th on CTV.
The 2026 IIHF World Junior Championship on TSN is brought to you in part by Wegovy. Visit wegovy.ca for savings. Some exclusions may apply.
Another high-scoring first period between Canada and Finland at the World Junior Championship. Sam O'Reilly opens the scoring, then Braden Coots as Liam Greetry gets his first point of this World Junior Championship. The Finns once again tied up on the goal by Miettinen, but then Zane Perek scores his 5th of the tournament. That gives him the new Canadian D goal-scoring record for a single tournament, breaking the record shared by Chris Russell and Thomas Chabot. Gordon Miller back with Mike Johnson. This Canadian team was criticized the last couple of years for not bringing enough offensive players. They can score.
Not a problem this year. I mean, you have to celebrate the skill. And in a tough game to try to get up for and play, they were making plays right from the very first shift. Denwyer, good pass in front of the net. And just the ability for across the entire lineup to get up and down the ice, make plays with speed, see everybody and all the options, and create scoring chances. They have been so good at it every single game. And Finland, bronze medal game, no difference whatsoever. It's been impressive. It's been fun to watch the skill on display, period after period, game after game. And Zane Parekh setting records for Canada with his production.
Tied the point record, shared by Brian McCabe and Alex Pietrangelo. As Rushdie plays that back around, Danford back to Aitchison. Well, he and Michael Hage are the tournament point leaders. Danford shoots, pad save. Rushdie couldn't reach the rebound. And back is Danford. Across to Keishon Aitchison. Has to bank that down to Baudouin. Centers it there. And Rushdie back with it. Ball centers it. That's broken up. As Danford had a chip by him and back down to the Canadian zone. Canada fifth the last 2 years of the World Junior Championship. Canada's only finished out of the medals 3 years in a row once, and that was before the Program of Excellence. It was 1979 to 1981. And the Program of Excellence began the next year when Canada began selecting and sending national junior teams. Prior to that, it was Memorial Cup champions who would have their roster bolstered. And Ginla, hard shot, goes high off the glass. Back at the point, Parekh lobs that wide. TJ Ginla flips it back down to Martone. And Porter Martone plays it back around to Ginla. For Misa. Flips that back to Reed, to Parekh. And he flips it back across to Ginla. The pass got away. Now stepping up is Parekh. Knocks that free for Ginla. TJ Ginla drops it back. Martone scores! And Porter Martone has his sixth in the tournament. And Zane Parekh has the Canadian point record for D-men in one tournament all to himself.
Yeah, good shift. Zone time, puck support, and Parekh seals off the wall. And TJ Ginla puts it right in the wheelhouse for Porter Martone. Just a little pop pass underneath the stick of Väisänen. Porter Martone's done a lot of good work down in these areas around the front of the net. He's got a good stick, good release. And very quietly now, with his sixth goal, he would have the tournament lead to himself as of right now.
Canada with 42 goals.
They're averaging, or last year they scored what, 13?
Yeah.
In 5 games. They're averaging 6 per if it ended with 4 tonight.
Jokinen brings it back out. Canada up by 2 for the first time in the game. As Brunick looks to center ice to McKenna. In for Hage. That's broken up. Brought back now by Kuta. And Kuta whistled that wide. Kivaharju plays it back in. Glove down by Carls. And Carls plays that back across for Brunick. Lead pass for Hage. Pokes it. That Kivaharju gathers it back up. Kivaharju in across the line with Koivu, and Kivaharju shoots. Hunter George knocks that away. McKenna, high flip to center ice, trying to find Luchenko, and Kivaharju knocked that away. Calto had it knocked off his stick. Bruning plays it back around to Verhoff. Eaton Verhoff. For Luchenko to Coots. In comes Coots. Makes a hard hit there from the eminent. And now Hemming back the other way. The Dallas first rounder chips it in. And Verhoff stays with him. Gathered back up by Coots. To Luchenko. That rink wide pass is picked off. Brought back in by Beaulieu. Beaulieu walks right in and shoots, and George makes the stop on that. Ethan McKenzie lifts it back down to the finished blue line. It got by Valila. In comes Hemming. Knocked down hard by Verhoff. And McKenzie has it back. Keaton Verhoff, 17-year-old freshman at the University of North Dakota, after a couple of brilliant years with the Victoria Royals of the Western League. Ian McKenna, two of the biggest names, make the jump from junior hockey to college this year.
Cole Reshny as well.
Yeah. Valila with it. Back across, finds Vananen. He fires. George makes the stop on that and hangs on.
It's been a quiet march to making history for Zane Parekh, as now he is alone atop the single tournament scoring record for a defenseman by Canada, and some pretty good names underneath him. And he picked this one up not on a fancy shot or a great pass, but a wall seal pinch off his ankle. That puts a smile on his face. And you must say this about Zane Parekh: he has enjoyed his time playing these last couple weeks.
Chipped ahead by Martone. He finds Iginla with Misa driving. Iginla drops it back to Martone with a wrist shot. Rippin' and save. Misa goes between the legs. And now touched up by Rohonen, and a penalty coming to the Finns. It'll be a slashing call, and Canada back to the power play.
It's a good idea by Misa. He was trying to go through his legs to a defenseman on the back door, but just caught a skate in the way through while he picked up a slash.
28. 2 minutes for slashing.
Rohonen takes a slashing penalty down in front of the net on Misa, as Misa's trying to find Aitchison backdoor. The offense just keeps on coming. Here's a slash into the wrist, right over top the cuff. And so the power play that is 1 for 1.
11 for 21 in the tournament.
He goes right back to work.
Face off, one back to McKenna.
Finland penalty number 28.
McKenna drops that back to Parekh.
2 minutes for slashing.
And Parekh slings it back across to Hage. In comes Hage. Drops it off to McKenna. For Parekh. To McKenna. Parekh, the centering pass for Reshny. Shoots. He puts that wide. Dug free by Reshny. Back to Hage. Looks to Parekh. Parekh back across to McKenna. And now Parekh unloads. That's blocked in front. Parekh plays that back down to Hage. He winds in and feeds across. McKenna with a shot. Tip score! O'Reilly with the deflection. And Canada's up 5-2. That power play is lethal.
I'm watching Finland trying to get in the seams. They're doing the right things, but the extra guy, the creativity, the speed, and the passing, and the chemistry up top between Parekh and McKenna and Hage is so impressive. The two guys down in the net, whether it's Reshny, O'Reilly, was Martin earlier, they just got to keep moving around. Find open spots and they'll get hit. Backdoor. That's a nice backhand tip from Sam O'Reilly. Present the blade. Comes flying through. You got to get enough of it to pull it back against the grain. No chance for Rimpinen. So another point for McKenna. Another point for Hage. O'Reilly picks up another goal.
Right. That's his 4th in the tournament.
I'm counting. Is that 3 for Hage points in this game already?
Bison works it and shoots up the puck just wide. Mietinen tries to center it.
McKenna's got 3 and Hage has 3. Parekh has 2.
And Canada's got a 5-2 lead. We've mentioned this before. The irony is that the team that wins this game will leave the rink today feeling better than the team that wins the silver later on today. Hemming chips it back down. George out to play it. Brings that back around. At the line, helped by Jokinen. Pumps that back around. Martone waiting for it. Knocked down by Vela at center ice. And Martone slings that back down to the finish end. Vela goes back. And icing called against Canada.
The power play is so prolific that against Czechia in the semifinals, Patrick Gusta said basically for us to have a chance to win, we have to take 3 or fewer penalties, conceding probably 1 or 2 goals in those 3 penalties. And you could see why. Freck had the earlier power play goal. O'Reilly. And if O'Reilly didn't get that one, they probably would have created another great chance.
Vela shoots. That goes wide up the other side. Pekarinen swings across the top. Pekarinen drops that back to Vela. That shot off the outside of the post. And it jumps up and out of play. The goals are piling up, and so are the points for Canada's top players.
Real strength isn't pushing through the pain, it's relieving it. Advil targets pain caused by inflammation for fast, effective relief. Because when there's less pain, there's more gain. Advil, that's real strength.
You can have whatever you want for a price. Latest trend? Sure. But don't expect it to last.
That's not how we do it.
At Marshall's, our buyers hustle 24/7, so you never have to compromise on quality or price.
I'm impressed. Let's talk numbers.
We're getting you a better deal, because at Marshall's, we believe that everyone deserves the good stuff.
Inspired by the strength of a diamond, every stitch reflects our resilience, pride, and belonging, forged through time and pressure. Canada's 2026 Olympic jersey, a symbol forged in ice.
Scan the QR promo code on screen to get Crave starting at $3.99 per month for your first 3 months and stream the latest blockbusters, Canadian Crave originals, and hit series all in one place on Crave.
I'll tell you what, between AI and you,
I'm not gonna lie to you, I don't know if I scanned a QR code for the first 3 years they were offered up on the screen, but now I do all the time. I want to see how quickly I can get that thing onto my phone. True story.
This is Kuntze for the face-off against Suvanto. Face-off, one back by Suvanto. He is one of only 4 Finns who can return next year. Will be an early draft pick in the upcoming NHL draft. That centering pass is knocked away by Greentree. Craig Button has Suvanto ranked in the top 10. And unlike a lot of other draft predictors, he doesn't have 30 people in his top 10.
That's the James Duthie draft.
Yes.
75 first rounders, 25 top 10 picks. Everybody's happy.
And we are duty bound to report that James Duthie got lost on his way to the team photo today, yet again.
Just wanted to make an entrance as one of the leaders of the group. I tell you what, we've seen Suvanto play so much all week, every game, and I've liked his game. He's strong skater, strong on the puck.
He had a really good Hlinka Gretzky Cup for the Finns as well, the Summer Under 18 tournament.
I'm sitting there watching him play for Tapana Tampere. He's got 2 goals in 30 games. I always struggle with, would he be better served playing in a U20 league, even if it's in Finland, and having 14 goals in 30 games?
Right. Big kid, those 6'3", 205 pounds. These 2 countries are the next 2 hosts of the World Juniors. As McKenna moves in, 3 assists for McKenna, and a quick shot there, knocked away by Rimpinen. Canada will host in Edmonton and Red Deer next year. And the following year, the Finns will host in Tampere and Turku. Verhoff trying to knock that loose. Comes back in the high slot. Boy, there's a chance that goes wide. And McKenzie back on it. McKenna jumping back. He falls. Saralainen winds through the offensive zone. Saralainen drops it off to Kivaharju. And Beaulieu couldn't hold that puck on the line. Shots 19-13 Canada, a 5-2 lead. Canada 3-2 all-time in bronze medal games. This is their first in 12 years. Beaulieu. Rink wide for Hemming. Emil Hemming moves back in. Hemming, the Barrie Colts star, had that knocked away. Got it back up by Desnoyers. Looks up for O'Reilly. It bounced into his feet. Now back at center ice is Parak. Vannanen plays it back around to Miettinen. And that pass almost picked off by Desnoyers. Now got it back up by Reed. Across he goes to Parak. Parak. Desnoyers drops it back for Baudouin. He lifts that wide. Reed back across to Parak with a wrist shot. That goes just high and wide. He can really sling it. He's talked about the fact he uses a longer stick than most people his height. That's a lot more torque on the puck. Reshny drops that back. Brought back in by Parak. And a penalty coming again to the Finns.
Oh, no. Bad news for Finland. Another penalty coming for a little slash in the hands.
And it'll be Hemming who goes off.
It was on Parak, I think, down below the goal
Finland
line.
22, minor penalty for slashing.
When you play winger against Parak, you got to chase him all over the map. Little toe drag there. No penalty yet, but here it comes. That is not much, but again, a slight bobble of the puck because of it. Now here's a chance earlier. Beaulieu jumps right off the bench and right down the gut before he fires it wide. He even clears off the snow from his blade before he takes that wrister. Just sails it wide. All right, 2 for 2.
And the big boys are back out there. Reshny wins the faceoff back to Parak. For McKenna. Gavin McKenna slings it back across for Hage. And Hage drops it down to Reshny. Pivots back in the corner. Cole Reshny to Hage. Walks in, feeds up the goal mouth to O'Reilly. And O'Reilly back to Hage. Parak. Hage. Reshny could get a shot away. And now it's fed down the ice by Väisänen over the head of Parak. And Carter George with a quick up to O'Reilly. With Hage driving, O'Reilly drops it in the slot. Again with a shot, rebound, Rippinen makes the stop as Hage was looking for the rebound.
Almost catching Finland looking for a change. The quick up from Carter George. Springs a rush chance. Hage gets the net. Iginla slides to the middle. Puck is sitting right on Rippinen's pad. Hage takes one good whack at it, but cannot dislodge it before he's cleared out of there. So the second unit comes out. They're pretty good as well. Done a fair bit of damage. Luchenko in for the draw. And Parak gets to stay the whole 2. That is.
Fires that back across to Martone. Porter Martone. Pivots back. It's Iginla parked in front. Martone to Parak. Parak walks right in. Shoots. That's off a stick and high. Got it back up by Misa. Misa back to Parak. He finds Martone moving in. Martone drops that back in the high slot. Poked away by Savanto. And Savanto comes in the forecheck. George has it. Banks it back around for Misa. 45 seconds to go in the power play. Canada 2 for 2 on the man advantage. Iginla chops that down. Jokinen. Squeeze that back to center ice. Picked up there by Luchenko. Up to Iginla. Tej Iginla. Pivots back in the corner. Luchenko. Back for McKenzie. In comes Luchenko with it. Rolls up to the goal mouth. Martone back across. Misa with a shot that was blocked by Nieminen. At the point is Luchenko. Shoots. That's tipped high by Martone.
Oh, what a good block by Nieminen. The net front drive drew everyone down in front. And the puck popped out to Michael Misa. He's got an empty net. Martone kicks it to him. And that's going to go right in the back of the net. But no getting it past the Eminem. He's been a good player also.
Yeah.
For
the Nashville 6th round pick. 13 seconds to go on the power play. Reshny for the faceoff against Miettinen. Tap back by Baudouin and held there by Brunik. Feeds it back to McKenzie. For Brunik. He shoots off the outside of the pipe. Knocked down by McKenzie. Head down.
Both teams are playing at full strength.
McKenzie fires again. Rippon makes the stop. 2 shots on that power play. Canada finally doesn't score on the man advantage.
Did get a post out of it, though.
It's true. Brunik fires again. That was blocked. Now a chance for Desnoyers. And Rippon made the stop on that. Baudouin pivots away from Miettinen. Baudouin drops that back for Desnoyers. It's broken up by Vananen. And Hemming has it back. Takes the return pass from Kiviharju. Hemming slings it back around as George goes back to play. Carter George taps that back across to Reshny. 7.5 to go here in the second period. Canada 5-2 lead in the bronze medal game. Still to come tonight, the Czechs and the Swedes for gold. Now a centering pass moving in is Kuta. Knocked on the puck by McKenzie. Good stop there by George. On the rebound to Vestarinen. Winding as McKenna. He was chipped off the puck.
And the Eminem, he looks for big hits. Almost squared up on McKenna.
Picarina plays it back down to the Canadian zone. Verhoff plays it around for Karls. This could be a defense pair for Canada in next year's tournament. And perhaps the year after, too, depending how their pro careers progress.
They've already played together for a couple of years at the U17, U18 events.
Good to have that taken away. O'Reilly was knocked down. Now here's Karls with it. Karls screws that back down to the Finnish zone. Rimpinen plays it back across to Jokinen. Picarina. Across the line, holds up. Fins are changing. He drops it back to Valila. The centering pass for Serlina knocked away, and back comes Hage along with McKenna. Michael Hage with Gavin McKenna. Hage gets a step. Moves around Tuba, works back in and shoots, and Rimpinen got a piece of that. Danford plays it back to O'Reilly. Across to Aitchison. Back to Keishon Aitchison. And Danford looks for the carom off the end boards. Coots got a chance there. It's knocked away. Tuva to the Canadian line for Ruohonen, walks in and shoots, scores! Heikki Ruohonen as the Finns back within 2.
Ruohonen has been one of Finland's better players in this tournament. 7 points coming into this game. You see him skate off this loose puck. Good wheels. Aitchison gets stuck standing still, and Danford tries to take the shot away, but not able to do it. Ruohonen has shown off that quickness, and that's a bad slide by Danford. Maybe just gets his head too far deep. He goes right past it, over top and through the 7-hole on Carter George. Ruohonen has to head back, not to Finland tomorrow, but classes.
Head to Boston, plays at Harvard. I'm sure they're easy.
Somehow what he did during his Christmas break will be the least impressive story of the group.
Right.
From his classmates. But he has been good. Skates quickly. Philadelphia 4th-round pick. We've seen the Philadelphia brain trust around an awful lot. My former Liney and Danny Briere.
Yeah, they're pretty excited.
Actually, Porter Martone, of course, as well. Don't just focus on the top picks, but all your prospects that play in this tournament. And I guess with Ruohonen in Boston, they probably could see him as much as they want.
Face off, one back to Martone. Porter Martone knocks it down again. As it's back behind the goal again, they're looking for it. Kiviharju knocked that away. Misa got a stick on that. Now Koivu plays it back out for the Finns. Correct. These teams do have a penchant for scoring against each other. The New Year's Eve game wound up 7-4 Canada. Rimpinen plays it back around, knocked down by Parak. Rink wide pass to Koivu. Up goes Koivu, the Montreal third-rounder. Some of the legendary Saku Koivu. Moves it back around for Calto. That centering pass picked up by Iginla. He's away with Misa. Reed jumping in with Martone. In comes Iginla. Martone with a chance. Rebound loose in front. Rimpinen quickly able to corral that. 4:41 to go in the second period. Canada's got a 5-3 lead on Finland in the bronze medal game of the World Junior Hockey Championship.
Real strength isn't pushing through the pain, it's relieving it. Advil targets pain caused by inflammation for fast, effective relief. Because when there's less pain, there's more game. Advil, that's real strength.
We all deserve more style. That's why there's an SUVW for everyone.
I see you looking, it's what you like.
Locked in a stare down with Mother Nature, some wilt, but others push forward. They are the real ones, and they drink a real good light beer. Sleeman Clear 2.0. Real ones know.
We're going to be playing the EU All-Stars.
This EU team is spectacular. Players here are overrated.
We are not scared of them.
Hear that, Scherzi?
Atos Koivu back in the lineup for Finland. Full of support here in Minnesota. We had Saku in the stands for the last week. He's had, of course, an incredible career with the Montreal Canadiens, Anaheim Ducks as well. But here in Minnesota, the most famous Koivu is his uncle, Mikko, Saku's brother, who the all-time leading scorer for the Minnesota Wild. So we have lots of support from even non-Finnish fans this time here.
There was a long time when the Minnesota Wild were Helsinki West. Tons of Finnish stars, now more of a Swedish bent to their team. Not to mention the recent sprinkling in of a pretty good American player from Vancouver.
This has been really good since Quinn Hughes has arrived.
They gave up a bundle to get him, though. But well with a chance, and Rippinen fights him off. Played back across, picked off by Vananen. And Hemming works it on Danford. Danford turns. Anthony picks that off. Centering pass knocked down by Desmarais. And Baudouin up for Reshny, who's almost in behind Beaulieu.
That slips through Beaulieu's feet. Reshny's in alone. That was an all-or-nothing commitment by Beaulieu.
Batted up. Up ahead to Tuba. That pass skipped away from him. And Verhoff looks ahead, skips back to center ice. Once Verhoff got in the lineup for Canada, Hotel Hunters left him in. That's batted up by McKenna. Jokinen goes back with Hage on him. And Jokinen has to retreat. Hage staying on him. And now O'Reilly picks that free. Hage got knocked down in the corner. McKenzie with it. Plays it back down to O'Reilly. Hage makes his way to the Canadian bench.
A little shaken up on that collision. Fell awkwardly on his back or working things out.
Picked up by Misa. Plays it back across to Verhoff. Looks down to McKenna. Gavin McKenna. Slides it across to McKenzie. Here's Verhoff with a look. Verhoff. Back to McKenna for Misa with a shot. Rippin' and pad save. Rebound, and Verhoff put that wide. Here's Verhoff back with it. Plays it back down to O'Reilly. Takes the return pass. Verhoff for McKenzie. Cues that back in the corner. Right to Misa. With a second try for McKenzie. Back across to Verhoff. Throws it back in front. The shot by Misa. Turned away by Rippinen. Misa back on it.
He's going to leave this tournament thinking he should have scored about 7 goals. I mean, he's had so many looks around the front of the net. Just haven't gone for him.
Serolainen works in. On Brunick and shoots. Glove save made by George. 2:18 to go in the second period. It's the bronze medal game at the 50th World Junior Championship in St. Paul, Minnesota.
Everybody wants super straight, super white teeth. They want that Hollywood white smile. Sensodyne Clinical White provides 2 shades whiter teeth and 24/7 sensitivity protection. I think it's a great product. It's going to help a lot of patients.
Jump.
Number 1 in client satisfaction. Tangerine. That's forward banking.
Where the next generation of stars become legends and lifelong dreams turn to gold. It's the annual tournament that defines Canadian pride. The 2027 World Junior Championship is coming to Edmonton and Red Deer. Don't miss your chance to celebrate a holiday hockey tradition you'll never forget. Ticket packages won't last long. Your best shot at seeing Team Canada at home is to sign up for the priority draw. Don't wait. The draw closes January 6th. Sign up free at hockeycanada.ca.
And it was already down and injured forward of Brady Martin for today's game, and their bench is one light right now as Michael Hage is not on it. Falls awkwardly. You can tell I'm just trying to think of what, was it the collision there, or was it the fall? A little pull of the arm. Either way, he got up, and that didn't feel right. Left arm is what it is, left shoulder. And
a really important player for the University of Michigan, the #1 ranked team in the NCAA. He
already got their goaltender, Jack Ivankovic, not playing in the day's game because he tweaked a little something yesterday as well. He's okay, Michael Hage.
Vestorina moves in and shoots. That's blocked by Brunick. Now fed back to center ice. Hage was the #2 point getter in the NCAA when he left for the Canadian camp.
He might be going home tired, but he will be going home or back to Michigan so full of confidence for being a dominant performer for World Juniors. And you wonder if he's not going to be in Montreal by the end of the year.
It's in his sophomore year at Michigan. You wonder if the Canadians turn him pro at the end of it.
I think you pull him out. Now, Montreal's having a good year, so he dumping right in the playoffs might be a little harder, like Ryan Leonard last year in Washington.
Finally coming to Canada here. Touched up by Iginla, and so the Finns with 1:27 to go in the second period will go to the power play as Michael Misa is called for a hook.
A power play that's already gotten a goal.
Minor penalty for hooking.
Michael Misa down below the goal line, loses body position, gets the stick into the hands. Kiviharju pretty clear there. A little chicken wing by Kiviharju, but that's, you just can't have your stick up in that position. And Finland trying to get back within one. This game felt so comfortable and in control, but now I wonder if it's Michael Hage's mother. Now you wonder, would they send her a note on how Michael's doing? Probably not instantaneously, but maybe between periods. As a parent, I'd want the text. Yeah. I would want an immediate update.
Not to mention the Montreal Canadiens, the Michigan Wolverines.
Yeah, right, exactly.
Kiviharju. That shot was blocked by O'Reilly. Fed back down to Ruohonen. Tuva. Trying to find a lane as Koivu's trying to get loose. Tuva feeds that back. Kiviharju for Hemming. The trigger man on the power play. Hemming feeds it down. Ruohonen finds it back across and missed Koivu with that pass. Finns came that close to drawing within one. Tuva back to Kiviharju for Hemming. Back to Kiviharju. They're trying to get Hemming free for a shot. And Hemming.
Very teammates not letting him. Aitchison, I've seen this before.
A bouncing puck, and Danford swatted that. Hemming feeds it back to Kiviharju along wrist shot block. Aitchison, a rolling puck, sends it back down the ice.
It's always fun when club teammates going head-to-head. Hemming and Aitchison both play for Barrie.
He's probably seen that one-timer.
It's like, I'm taking that thing away. I've seen that before.
Miettinen works it on Karls. Miettinen pivots back and slides that back to the point of Boyus. Final seconds of the period. Here's Boyus, feeds it back across, and the hard shot by Kuta, kicked out by George. There'll be 33 seconds of power play time for the Finns to carry over into the third period. Canada goes to the dressing room with a 5-3 lead in the bronze medal game of the 2026 World Junior Hockey Championship.
Thank you for your time.
Wow.
Thank you, Kendra.
Tim, you're up.
Good morning. So I think really our focus is...
You're frozen.
Are we freezing? No, not today. Not today. Well, the numbers go. If you hear nothing else I say, I am going to let you down. You want to go with Kendra?
Yes.
Poor cable internet connection.
When the stakes are high, why rely on cable internet? Switch to Canada's most reliable internet technology with a 5-year plan price lock, only from TELUS.
The world is changing, but with every challenge comes a chance to build better, stronger. We're investing in ourselves, buying Canadian, prospering from our resources and critical minerals. Our plan is to create jobs, build affordable homes twice as fast, break down barriers between provinces, and expand global trade. This is our moment to build a strong economy by Canadians, for Canadians. A message from the Government of Canada.
When you invest with RBC, your idea of tomorrow isn't so far away. When it comes to reaching your goals, performance matters. See why millions of Canadians invest with RBC.
By joining the skilled trades, you'll make a living while making places to live. You'll build a strong, stable career for today and for tomorrow. Plus, with over 140 skilled trades to choose from, there's more opportunity than ever to build a bright future for all of us. Building stronger communities right here at home. That's how we protect Ontario.
Hiding muscle and joint pain behind a smile? Voltaren can help. Voltaren contains a clinically proven anti-inflammatory that penetrates deep to relieve your pain and reduce inflammation. Voltaren, the joy of movement.
If I could call myself a champion, House Targaryen might take me in.
So, Sir Duncan the Tall, how good a knight are you?
This is the ED. It's not for the faint of heart.
Welcome back. Who else is going to get this place through the 4th of July? I could use a second set of hands.
And so it begins.
A 5-3 lead for Canada and an all-time record for most points by a Canadian defenseman at the World Juniors, Zane Perec with Kenzie Lalonde.
Well, Zane, with a goal and assist tonight, you've officially set the record for most points by a Canadian defender at a single tournament. Now, I know under just different circumstances, maybe this would hold a little bit more weight, but can you find some joy in making history along the way?
Yeah, a little bit for sure. I mean, it's tough, losing yesterday, and, maybe it's a little bit bittersweet having that, and just looking to win today and leave here with something at least.
What has it meant to you to wear the maple leaf at the World Junior stage?
It means everything. I mean, as a kid growing up, you watch this tournament every Christmas, so, I'm sad we couldn't bring home gold for our country, and but, being able to represent the country and Canada as a whole, I mean, it means everything to me.
You said just a few days ago you didn't want to leave. This brotherhood you've created with this group has meant so much to you. So one more period to go. How will you seize the opportunity with this group? One more period.
Yeah, just have fun for another 20. All my childhood friends are in there and all my best friends growing up. So, spend last 20 minutes with them and grind this one out.
Okay, have fun.
Thank you.
Just a really nice kid, great personality, and now into the history books for Canada. Most points by a defenseman, most goals by a defenseman, and tied for second in the points race behind Michael Hage, who, of course, went out there, and don't know his status, if he'll return for the third period or not. I think the two most fascinating individual storylines as far as divisive opinions in this tournament are Zane Perec and Gavin McKenna. We'll get into both those guys with Cheryl Pounder, Frankie Corrado, and Jeff O'Neill. First, Perec, who we're going to look back at the books in 10 years and say this is the greatest World Juniors ever, and you talk to some people and they say, well, he's fantastic at one end and uh-oh at the other end.
Yes.
Yeah.
Sometimes a little too casual in his own zone. Think about this. As good a player as he is, as offensively dynamic as he is, he's not a regular in the NHL, and that's what he's going to have to figure out moving forward is how do I bring my World Junior game and have success at the NHL level and start doing some of the same things and become like a Christopher Letang or an Erik Karlsson, a right-handed shot defenseman that controls the game with his skill. Because these plays are just not available every night in the National Hockey League, but he's got to figure out a way to have some kind of hybrid where he's responsible in his own zone and he can still create offense. Let's be honest, Christopher Letang and Erik Karlsson, they're not defensive dynamos, but there's some kind of balance there for this kid to figure out, because offensively, he's as gifted as you can get. Like these passes, the shot, the vision, his ability to run a power play, it's as good as I've seen in this tournament. You just got to figure out how that's going to translate and what he can get away with at the next level in the NHL.
The things that he does really well, not everyone can do those things. So he has that base already. You're never going to ask him to be Zdeno Chara, Chris Pronger, and play that kind of game, but you can teach him to defend to a certain level where you could roll him out there every night. The things he does well, it's really hard to teach that.
I will say, though, it is a choice to defend as well, right? So when you're him and you've got this unique skill set in the offensive zone, there's also a choice to work hard on the other side of the puck. Sure, he's offensively gifted, all of those things, but I think he's got to round out that element of his game if he wants to have NHL success.
Got to find him, and when he gets to that level, you got to find him the Mark Mathot. Erik Karlsson had Mark Mathot, where it was like, that guy's my stabilizer. He can stay back, and I'm going to do the fun stuff.
McKenna's the other interesting one because he was kind of anointed as the next one by Canada when he was about 15 years old, which is not his fault, and he had the points in junior to back it up. So he comes to this tournament with these massive expectations. And I'm sure you get the same text I do. Guys are left wanting more, especially in that line. He's had one bad game, and that was the key game last night. And I think we're spoiled by the Bedards who take over a tournament, and McKenna has not done that and not driven play. Then you look down, and he's tied for second in tournament scoring as an 18-year-old. So how are we supposed to evaluate this?
It's a very good question because it's a fascinating thing. Coming into today's game, this guy had 10 points in 6 games. He's got 3 more assists in this game. Yet, we're still lukewarm, or some people are lukewarm on Gavin McKenna. Well, look at his body of work tonight. That's an incredible pass to get that puck off the wall that eventually sets up a 2-1 goal. Not everyone can make that pass. And then here, knows exactly what he wants to do with it. On the power play, that has been a strength of his, and it will continue to be a strength of his. But it's just so interesting. We don't see him take over games. Right now for Gavin McKenna, the pucks along the wall, the one-on-one battles, the puck pursuit, that's where his game needs to elevate. And he might not be a guy who is a difference maker right away when he jumps into the NHL, but there's something to be said for a guy that gives your team a lot of points. You're scoring more, and eventually he will grow, he will round out his game, but there's still some work to do.
Well, yeah, and you said we talked about uniqueness of a Parekh. Well, the same thing for a Gavin McKenna, the way he sees and layers, the vision, the anticipation. But you're so correct, Frankie, in terms of off of puck, what he does is going to be critical, because if you're going to go #1 overall, you also have to drive play and get to the inside of the ice. But certainly, I mean, when you talk about his distribution, his ability to move the puck, the way he sees, I mean, he scans, and it's almost as if everything slows down around him when he sees different players and even trailers that he can hit. I mean, that is the effectiveness of his game. Just has to find the middle of the ice when it closes up a little bit better.
Not everyone is drafted to be in the NHL as this 200-foot player. Not everybody does that because they're simply not good at it. Patrick Kane was drafted first overall. He was never really known as a 200-foot player, but what he was known for is big games, playoff games where things were tough. That guy always made a difference, and that's going to be the same thing for Gavin McKenna. You're going to be drafted high, and you're going to be a point producer, a power play guy, but when things are tough, you saw the competition at the Four Nations. That's as good as it gets. You saw the elite of the elite shine in those situations, and that's what he's got to figure out what to do.
One of the things that I find really separates the great ones, the guys that are drafted high, that change the face of their organization, it's just within the game, they welcome body contact. Leon Draisaitl, Sidney Crosby, like those are just a couple names off the top of my head. They work through a lot of that stuff. That's where Gavin McKenna's game needs to improve, working through some of the chops, some of the contact.
And as you enter the NHL and even the tighter games, you get pushed further from the net. I think that's the big thing.
It's just fascinating. You hear Bobby McKenzie used to always say, you can't, the stock drop can't.
Love you, Bobby.
Don't point.
Are you pointing at him, Bobby?
It can't fall during the World Juniors, and yet it feels like in the scouts that it has for McKenna, and yet if he has a good third period here, he might end up leading the tournament in scoring. So just be fascinating to watch how the draft unfolds over the next few months. Sweden and Czechia, Stenberg, another guy who could go first overall, 8:30 Eastern. Somebody's going to win a historic gold medal in that one. Inside the Team Canada room, a 2-goal lead over the Finns. Good to see some smiles on their faces as they try to get a bronze medal.
Every great play starts with an assist. Off the ice, an assist can change a life. The Hockey Canada Foundation Assist Fund helps kids lace up and play the game we love. Give your greatest assist at hockeycanadafoundation.ca.
From a first game to their biggest game. From ESSO medals to gold medals. We are dedicated to Canada's game.
We are made in Canada. Homegrown, Canadian-owned and operated. We're neighbors. Friends. Family. We're more than just made in Canada. We're a fabric of Canada.
This is the Mercy Capital Court, powered by artificial intelligence.
You're charged with the murder of your wife.
I'm not guilty.
Prove it.
Solve the mystery. Bring that back. Find out who that is. Or face execution. I have something here. Oh my God. Mercy.
Hey, Roadrunner, you're one fast bird.
Well, I drink Red Bull.
But you do realize...
Yes, Red Bull gives you wings, but I'm scared of heights.
With personalized advice from a Scotiabank advisor, you can invest in what you're really invested in. Scotiabank, you're richer than you think.
Everybody wants super straight, super white teeth. They want that Hollywood white smile. Sensodyne Clinical White provides 2 shades whiter teeth and 24/7 sensitivity protection. I think it's a great product. It's going to help a lot of patients.
This is Bombas. They took socks and said, what if they could be way more comfortable? For feeling fast and cozy and dressed up. Oh, and did we say cozy? What if comfort could be for everyone? Socks are one of the most requested items in homeless shelters. So at Bombas, 1 purchased equals 1 donated. All across Canada, Bombas, making the world a more comfortable place. Get 20% off your first order at bombas.ca.
By joining the skilled trades, you'll make a living while making places to live. You'll build a strong, stable career for today and for tomorrow. Plus, with over 140 skilled trades to choose from, there's more opportunity than ever to build a bright future for all of us. Building stronger communities right here at home. That's how we protect Ontario.
A couple of the busiest ladies in show business, Kenzie Lalonde, Cheryl Pounder, Laura Dyken. They'll head off to the women's U18s now. Tune in Saturday for Team Canada's first game against Switzerland, 7:30 Eastern, 4:30 Pacific time. Our numbers from our friends at SportLogic favoring Canada. The slot shots almost double the high danger chances. They're up by 5. Chances off the rush a little bit closer. The only number that matters, a 5-3 Canada lead heading towards the 3rd period of play. 20 minutes to go for a bronze.
Get a $3 classic breakfast when you buy any coffee at Tim's. So is it an iced coffee and a $3 classic breakfast wrap morning? Maybe a sandwich and an iced latte morning, a pre-shift sausage wrap morning, or a double-double crossword morning. Any coffee at Tim's gets you a $3 classic breakfast sandwich or wrap.
You see that? That's me. I'm a random. I make sure anything that could happen will happen. I'm the big script flipper. So before you bet more than you can afford to lose, remember, random is always in play.
when it all comes together, it could mean you're ready to talk to your doctor about Wegovy. Ask for Wegovy by name. Visit wegovy.ca for savings.
By joining the skilled trades, you'll make a living while making places to live. You'll build a strong, stable career for today and for tomorrow. Plus, with over 140 skilled trades to choose from, there's more opportunity than ever to build a bright future for all of us. Building stronger communities right here at home. That's how we protect Ontario.
The Chevrolet Silverado calls you to a place with no boundaries, where the trail ends and the beyond begins. The Chevrolet Silverado ZR2, built to take you where the trail ends, so you can go beyond.
Drive now and pay later. Make no finance payments for up to 90 days on all Chevrolet vehicles. Visit your local dealership before this offer ends. Chevrolet. Together, let's drive.
This holiday season, give the gift of endless entertainment.
All right, should we roll?
Right now. Get Crave starting at $3.99 a month for your first 3 months. And stream hit series.
Okay, on my couch.
Canadian Crave Originals.
Where is the elevator? It's busted.
Plus, bring on the festive magic with iconic classics.
Best time of the year.
Get Crave starting at $3.99 a month for your first 3 months. Ends January 12th. Terms apply. Only available at crave.ca/subscribe.
The 2026 IIHF World Junior Championship on TSN is brought to you in part by Wegovy. Visit wegovy.ca for savings. Some exclusions may apply.
Porter Martone gets his tournament-leading 6th goal to give Canada a 4-2 lead. Then Sam O'Reilly and Heikki Ruohonen gets the Finns back within 2 late in that second period. 5-3 Canada leads after 40 minutes as the big names are all over the scoreboard. Gordon Miller back with Mike Johnson. Canada being led offensively by 3 players, 1 back from last year, Gavin McKenna, and 2 who weren't in Michael Hage, and in addition
to Zane Parekh.
Zane Parekh.
I mean, we call them the big 3 because they have been in on so many different goals. They are currently 1, 2, 3 in tournament scoring, and they all do it so differently. Michael Hage largely driven by his legs and his positioning and attacking with speed. Parek's got the big shot and the vision and a power play phenom. And Gavin McKenna, when he gets the puck, he gets a little space, he can be so dangerous. You put all 3 of them together, whether it's 5-on-5 or during 5-on-4, and it's going to be trouble. Whenever they get the puck in the offensive zone, it is trouble for the opposition. And they've been there an awful lot this tournament. And already Michael Hage has more points than the Canadian team had goals in last year's tournament. And good to see him back on the bench after being a little shaken up in a collision late in the second.
Hage and McKenna each have 3 assists. Parek's got a goal and an assist, and Canada's got a 2-goal lead. But starts this period shorthanded as Hemming moves in. And Hemming spins that back. Hemming. Back to Kiviharju in the corner. Finns trying to draw within 1 here. Vananen. Back for Kiviharju. A different look here with Kiviharju in the corner. Vananen walks right out. Trying to find Miettinen in front. Vananen. Still with it. Goes back to Kiviharju. Final seconds of the power play. The centering pass broken up by Aitchison.
Both teams are playing at full strength.
As Misa steps back on the ice for Canada. 1 shot for the Finns in that power play. Still a 2-goal Canadian lead. It was strange with Vananen just parked at the side of the goal. And now it's picked up by Misa. Poked back down the ice by Baudouin. And icing called against Canada.
I quite enjoy peculiar strategies. And Finland off the faceoff. Watch this one, Gordon. We call this the bum rush. 2 forwards at the back, and they just go streaking straight through the faceoff circle. Nieminen setting a pick. Kiviharju setting a pick. And Vananen and Hemming get easy access. Because a cleverly drawn up neutral zone faceoff play.
Long point shot by Poirier. Saved by George. Rebound, and George grabs that away from Ruohonen.
It would be nice for Carter George to have a solid 3rd period. It hasn't been the tournament that he was expecting, that he would have wanted. He didn't get to play all the big games. Numbers aren't anywhere near what they were last year, but If he can have a good third period, be really sharp and secure a medal for his team, at least he'd feel good after this one.
Rushdie for the face-off against Ruohonen. Won by Ruohonen. Tired Canadian players on the ice, and that shot by Beaulieu goes wide. Saralainen pivots back in the corner. Väisänen plays it back for Beaulieu. And now Saralainen back with it for Väisänen. Beaulieu shoots, glove save made by George.
Carter George with a good glove save on a puck you could see well. Battle in front by Cole Rushdie. When you play down low as a centerman, you have a lot of responsibility. Every now and then you gotta be like a defenseman. Box out, tie up the stick, as well as spot the puck. Rushdie does all those things. You see him forcing Ronan out of the way, but also well aware of where the puck was coming from. That's good positioning by Cole Rushdie.
Carter George, the LA second-round pick, plays for Owen Sound in the OHL.
Against his future teammate, maybe ripping in a 5th rounder to LA. Double Kings in net.
Shot by Kuta goes off a skate and wide. Pekarinen bumped there by Carls. And the puck bounced by Valala. And Hage moving in. Drops that back to O'Reilly. And Valala plays that away. Picked off by Hage. Hage walks right in, feeds it back from McKenna. That shot was blocked.
It just got clipped up high on that sequence.
Vestarinen plays it back down, and Hage sparking the official on his way off.
Got me right in the mouth. That's a direct translation. I think Valala was right around him. It's a bad turnover in the defensive zone. And every now and then you wonder how it's missed, because he had the puck right on his stick and he gets clipped right under the chin, he says mouth. Finland gets away with avoiding another Canadian power play.
Luchenko comes leaping in, tries to knock that loose. Canada 3-2 all-time in bronze medal games, has lost its last 2. They played in 3 straight. 2012 they won. Lost in 2013 and 2014. And Yemenen goes back to pick it up. Yemenen. That's knocked away by Verhoff. And Yemenen slides that back. And Yemenen got bowled over by Greentree.
Rarely see a hit that clearly from behind in the neutral zone. That was a whiplash-inducing contact.
Bannon lines back in. That pass is picked off, brought back by Baudouin. Oh, Baudouin moves in. Baudouin still with it, drops it back, and a hard shot on the outside of the post by Danford. Out to center ice, Danford swats that ahead. And Väisänen looks ahead to Vannanen. NYA. Rink wide, Rushdie going after it. He wins that race, there's no icing. And now Baudouin comes in to pick it free. Baudouin spins it back in the corner. Ballo's got it back. And Bello lifts it back to center ice. Baudouin kicks it that. And Aitchison at center ice for Rushdie. NYA plays that back down, and Väisänen back to pick it up. And as he does, too many men.
Nice.
Yes, they
again.
Yeah.
Finland stuck out there with 6 guys clearly out and playing. We've seen some inopportunity, too many men penalties in this tournament as it's gone along.
Team Finland penalty. Bench minor, too many men on the ice.
And I think Lauri Mikkola is not talking about the too many men. I think he's talking about the hit he didn't like. But, I mean, you count them right there. 6 on the screen, 6 on the non-bench side of the ice.
And Saralainen suddenly realizes, whoops.
And here's this hit. I don't know what you... Look at...
His head snaps back. Yemenen.
And then Greentree, some words for the Finnish bench. Feels like that should be a penalty. I don't know what penalty it would be. Maybe hit from behind, which you don't see not near the boards.
Right. I mean, checking from behind, it doesn't say into the boards.
That was
Finland bench flag activity player.
Strong contact.
Canada back on the power play. Perek for McKenna. McKenna. I was thinking that rink wide. Nieminen picks it off and sends it back down. Perek to McKenna. Chips that to Reshny. And Reshny crisscrossing with McKenna. Drops it back to him, to Hage. To Perek. Here is Hage. Has a look, waits, feet at the goal mouth, takes the return pass from O'Reilly. Drops it back to Perek. Back for Hage, trying to feed it to Reshny. That's picked off, and the Finns have a chance. 2-on-1, shorthanded. Savento. Up for Vestarinen, lines that down, and George taps that back across to Perek. Lead pass to O'Reilly. Drops that back to McKenna. And Gavin McKenna works in. Across to Hage. Swings that back to McKenna. McGinley to Perek. Walks in and fires, and Rippon got a glove on that. Perek slings it again. Blocked in front. Set down the ice by Jokinen. And Carter George with the Finns changing a quick up to Iginla. TJ Iginla pivots back. Plays it for Misa. Goes off his shin pad. Misa slings it back around to Brunik. Brunik to Misa. Looks back at the point for McKenzie. Cross he goes to Iginla. And Iginla cross ice. That was knocked away by Saralainen. Misa back with it. Cross he goes to McKenzie. To Brunik. Feeds it back across. Iginla waiting for it. Back to Brunik. Able to hold the line. He goes down to McKenzie. That shot wide of the goal. And Misa back with it. Penalty's over. Out comes Tuba as Saralainen moves in. And Saralainen taken down by McKenzie. And shortly after surviving a Canadian power play, the Finns will get one of their own as McKenzie goes off.
A rare power play where there weren't really dangerous chances for Canada. Finland does a nice job adjusting and go and draw one of their own. Second
Canada,
penalty drawn.
13, holding
By Saralainen in this game. He had the early hold by Perek. This time he splits the D and gets McKenzie off kilter. Driving wide, cut it back. And McKenzie stops up but loses all body position. So Finland, another chance to get it back to within one.
They're 1 for 2 on the power play. Had some good looks in their last, which straddled the end of the second and the start of the third period. Face-off is won by O'Reilly. Tapped back around and fired down the ice by Baudouin. Kiviharju drops that back to Ruohonen, who has the last Finnish goal. Ruohonen tries to drop that back. Baudouin to the line, but not out.
It's a follow-through clipped.
Yeah. And the official telling Koivu that. Kiviharju back across to Hemming. He's being shadowed there by Danford. Hemming feeds that down. Ruohonen centers it. Koivu a point-blank chance, and George makes the save.
What a save, Carter George. Tough shift for Atos Koivu. He gets a hard high stick from Baudouin, but it was clearly on an attempted, and you see the referee telling him it was an attempted play on the puck. Puck's turned over. He's trying to backhand this one and gets Koivu up high. When he gets back in the play, Ruohonen slides it over to him. But George, a good push and seal, keeping the bottom of the net tight. Oh my goodness, Koivu would like to find the corner there. Got the Finns back within one.
Now Reshny will take the draw on this side of the ice against Ruohonen. Reshny wins that. Back around, Luchenko has time, and Luchenko lifts it back down. Away comes Kiviharju. Drops that back to Hemming. Emil Hemming moves in. Shoots. That goes wide of the goal. Picked back up by Koivu. Koivu, a healthy scratch the last 2 games and benched in the game before that in the first period. Tuba. Drops it back. Kivaharju back across. And lifts it back down the ice by Reed. And he finds Luchenko. In short-handed. Luchenko, the glove save made by Rippinen.
I think the word should be on the out. Do not shoot on breakaways on Rippinen. You got to go to a move. Igor Bjork should have sent the memo around the tournament.
He had the 4 breakaways in overtime yesterday. And now it comes to me and plays it back across, trying to find Vanderland. That's picked up. And O'Reilly back the other way to Baudouin. Baudouin drops that back to Aitchison, and he heads back as the Finns counterattack. Bolius up for Vanderland, and Karls took that away. And Karls plays that back.
Offside.
And a delayed offside call at the Canadian blue line.
Another opportunity for Jet Luchenko with the speed. Spots a turnover. Out he goes. Out of the air. What a pick. He's in alone. No real chaser. Could do whatever he wanted to. Trying to hold it. But Rippinen keeps the glove up. He just doesn't move his glove hand whatsoever. Jets family, we're hoping for a finish on that one. He's generated a lot of chances with his speed. Just hasn't found the finish. It's not a prolific goal scorer. There's 4 in 17 games in the OHL with Brantford. But man, he creates a lot.
One shot defends that power play as McKenzie steps back on. In comes Vestorina. Slings that towards the goal, knocked down by Danford and played back to the Finnish blue line. Väisänen moves in, plays that back around. Danford up for Aitchison. Bouncing puck picked up by Väisänen. Long pass for Saarelainen. Through the middle he goes for Ruohonen. Ruohonen shoots atop a stick over the glass and out of play. 11:25 to go here in the third period. Dandy saved by Rippinen on the shorthanded breakaway by Jet Luchenko.
When it all comes together, it could mean you're ready to talk to your doctor about Wegovy. Ask for Wegovy by name. Visit wegovy.ca for savings.
Thank you for your time.
Wow.
Thank you, Kendra.
Tim, you're up. Good morning. So I think really our focus is...
You're frozen.
Are we freezing? No, not today. Not today. Well, the numbers go. If you hear nothing else I say, I am going to let you down. You want to go with Kendra?
Yes.
Poor cable internet connection.
When the stakes are high, why rely on cable internet? Switch to Canada's most reliable internet technology with a 5-year plan price lock, only from TELUS.
One game left after this. It'll be Sweden against Czechia for the gold medal. This tournament went to a gold medal game format in 1996. They've never played in one. In fact, in the 19 years before that, when it was straight round robin, the Czechs and the Swedes have never finished first and second in a World Junior Championship.
I love how history is going to be made for one of these countries. It's been a while building it. For Czechia, they've had quite a resurgence the last few years after a really long cold stretch.
Their last gold medal 25 years ago. The Swedes were gold medalists in 2012. That's their only gold medal in the last 44 years. And this will end the run of Canada and the United States, who between them had won the last 6 World Juniors, 3 each. Jokinen.
Flag that for it, sailed on the bench. Look out.
In comes Saarelainen with some room. Saarelainen winds in. Rolled off his stick. Now a backhand shot goes high. Correct. Chips it back around for Reed. Up ahead to Iginla at center ice. Reaching for that was Misa. And Saarelainen winds in. Drops it back for Tuba. Correct. Swings it back around for Martone. That's knocked free. And a chance there for Tuba. Knocked away by George. Martone flips that back down to the finish zone as Yoni goes back. Icing called against Canada.
we talked about the need for these two teams to recalibrate after an emotional night where they lost. But when you win as well, you got to get it back together. This was the game-winning goal late in the third period. Politin gets one in off his skate, not even facing the right direction. And it was a euphoric celebration for Czechia for that goal for the empty netter. And at the end of the game, and they got to bring it back down to ground level and get ready to go again.
And the Swedes have to overcome
too.
Something that has nothing to do with them. I mean, the long history of coming up short in this tournament. And of course, they're coming off, as you mentioned, the 8-round shootout. By the way, last year, they met in the medal round, the bronze medal game. Remember that one? The 12-round shootout between the Czechs and the Swedes.
Well, the good news, there's no shootout in the gold medal game.
Right. Kivaharju back for Nieminen. Shot. George makes the stop, and on the rebound on Vestorinen. Edward Schalla shot 5 times in that shootout last year.
It's a lot of pressure on one guy. Always harken back to the Jonathan Taves, Carey Price.
Yeah.
There was a Peter Mueller shootout.
Yeah, Patrick Kane. That was 2007 in Lexan.
Where Canada came out the right end of it. And Canada's done a really good job playing hard, being solid in this game. 10 minutes left. Just got to keep making plays. They're getting in the habit of shooting it away and defending, which is not their forte.
Suvato. Hold that back for Calto. He was knocked down. Carls goes to it. Suvato. That pass is picked off by O'Reilly. High flip there for Hage. And Hage gets there first to negate the icing. As McKenna pokes it back. Koivu spins back. Long lead pass. Carl stepped in front of that to disrupt it. And O'Reilly backs him up. Banks it back around to Brunick. Here's Carl's back with it. Brunick. Finish on. That's knocked back up by Väisänen. Brought back in by Vanderman. Poke check there by Aitchison, and George gets a stick on that. Danford back around for Desnoyers. Long point shot by Beaulieu, skips down, and George makes the stop on that. 5-3, Canada leads Finland here in the third period in the bronze medal game in St. Paul, Minnesota.
We're in Bulgaria, searching for a CEO who's gone MIA.
I was feeling betrayed. They said they ordered the material. They scammed me.
Where is the company founder?
Good question.
Okay, let's do this.
We have a few questions to ask you.
No way. It can't be. Gail, you have to...
I'll be in the car.
Yes.
It's your last chance for Boxing Week prices at the Brick. This storage sleeper sectional is just $9.99. Mind the 18 cubic foot fridge, your choice, white or stainless steel, only $8.99 each. And get up to 25% off dining and bedroom. The Brick, saving you more.
Everybody wants super straight, super white teeth. They want that Hollywood white smile. Sensodyne Clinical White provides 2 shades whiter teeth and 24/7 sensitivity protection. I think it's a great product. It's going to help a lot of patients.
On the final day of the World Juniors, start thinking about next year in Edmonton and Red Deer. Canada can bring as 10 of these players back. They won't get them all, obviously, with the NHL, but ticket sales right now are restricted to Edmonton Oiler, Edmonton Oil King, and Red Deer Rebel season ticket holders. They'll go on sale for the priority draw in a couple of weeks, which already has more than 50,000 people registered. So
that is a reassuring number given the tough attendance we've had here in Minnesota, unfortunately, for the organizers, but really for the players. Like, they want it to feel special. They want it to feel emotional. And it lacked a little bit of that.
And the players from every team last year talked about how special it was in Ottawa, the atmosphere. Moyer plays it back down, well down by Väisänen. And then to Finland the year after that. That'll be well attended as well. And 2 great hockey towns in Tampa and Turku. Finns going to the Olympics, by the way, don't forget, as the defending Olympic champions. Now Väisänen shoots. It was off the foot of Desnoyers. Now a long shot by Vanderman, stopped by George. Still loose, Miettinen back with it. Feeds it back in the point-blank chance there for Vanderman. And he is stopped in tight by George, and then Vanderman gives a shot to Reshny after the whistle.
And Carter George makes a really good save, but it was after he sort of kicked out the first rebound there. That's the one he wants to squeeze. It's in his glove, it's out of his glove. And because of that, you get Brunick and Baudouin chasing Miettinen. He's Vannanen all alone, forcing Carter George to make a more difficult save. And he's able to squeeze and control the rebound for him.
By the way, I gave you incorrect information a moment ago.
What did you do?
65,000 people registered for the priority draw. Today's the last day to enter. So that lottery will take place in a couple of weeks. And the fans who are drawn will be given the first opportunity to buy ticket packages for that tournament. In comes Martone. Centers in. O'Reilly with a chance. Looking for the hat trick. Turned away by Rippinen. Edmonton gets another crack after they had to play the bubble in 2021. Then the 2022 tournament was postponed to the summer, and there were restrictions on attendance there as well. So all things going to plan. The tournament was played in a packed NHL building in a very passionate part of the country for the game of hockey. Verhoff backboard, banks it back around for Iginla. Verhoff ranges back. He gets knocked over hard by Pickering.
I don't think Verhoff had touched the puck just yet. He's trying to catch up to it. Got bowled over.
Guta plays that back around. And McKenna missed on that. Kivaharju with it. Kivaharju trying to drop that back. And Vestorina being watched there by McKenna. Pivots back in the corner on Verhoff. And Verhoff got a stick on that. Vestorina back on it. Feeds that back to Nieminen. Nieminen back for Kivaharju. Gets around McKenna. And Pickering back with it. Gordon Nieminen shoots. Bouncing puck goes wide. Here's Kivaharju with it. And to him in here. And now McKenna to Martone and back out to center. Kasper Pickering, New Jersey third-round pick, drops that back for Väisänen. He was a Utah third-rounder. Fires that down. Correct. Can't quite clear it out. Now on the line, picked up by McKenna. 2-on-1 with O'Reilly. In comes Gavin McKenna. Holds, finds O'Reilly. Backhand shot. Almost stopped by Rippinen. Rebound, McKenna put that wide. O'Reilly's had two great looks for his hat-trick goal, but turned away both times. McKenna centers it. Here's Hayes with the backhand shot. Rippinen down. Rebound, score! Gavin McKenna finally cashes, and it's 6-3. And that's a 4-point game for Gavin McKenna.
Michael Hage as well will pick up an assist. Yeah, it's good to see Gavin McKenna smiling. A turnover sent McKenna and O'Reilly, and everyone in the building knows McKenna's going to pass this. O'Reilly goes to the same move, and he hits the post again that he had on Rippinen. But they stay with it. Hage all alone in front. First attempt, Karam's over to Gavin McKenna. Rippinen, no stick, way out of the net, sliding all over the place. No chance. As Gavin McKenna finds a 5-hole on Väisänen to get his fourth. And a 4-point game against Finland in any situation is a big night. Hage and McKenna coming through. So
Hage, the tournament point leader, was 15.
McKenna one behind him with 14.
13:35. Shot taken by Valala goes wide and bounces back down the ice with 6 to go here in the third period. Canada a 3-goal lead. Vannanen drops that back in the high slot. It's picked off by Desnoyers. He goes in on Nieminen, flips that back to the slot. Desnoyers backhand shot, ripping in the save on that.
I've liked his game as this tournament's gone along in Desnoyers. Surprised he hasn't found the back of the net.
Utah first rounder had off-season wrist surgery. Again, Les swings that back in the slot. To the point it goes. Carl's a shot that goes off a leg and wide. Now Brunick races back on Serolainen. Stays with him. That centering pass is ticked away by Carls. Now a chance for Serolainen in tight. And George makes the save on that. Serolainen picks it free again. Another backhand shot goes wide. 5 to go here in the third period. Kivaharju As that knocked away, Martone flips it ahead for Iginla. TJ Iginla in on Väisänen, and Väisänen knocks that away. Out to center ice, Ruohonen. Drops it back to Tuva for Ruohonen, and then Reed knocked that away from Tuva. At the line, held by Valila. That goes off a skate. Poked ahead by Reed. Now Reshny was looking for Baudouin cross ice. In comes Reshny again, and Jokinen knocked that away. Pekarinen moves back in. That's knocked away by O'Reilly. Pekarinen back with it. Spins back and shoots. George save, rebound. Skipped away from Vananen. Nieminen shoots, tipped in front. That goes just wide. Lifted back out by Reed. Nieminen goes back, goes O'Reilly.
He tried to milk the ice.
Tried to throw the anchor out, but the linesman wasn't buying. Many players talked in the hallway before this game about their legacy and the legacy of this program. And we talked about off the top that under the program of excellence in since 1982, Canada has never gone 3 straight years without a medal at the World Junior.
Ask for Wegovy by name. Visit wegovy.ca for savings.
It had only happened once before, from 1979 to 1981, and when that happened, that's when Canada began the program of excellence, selecting national junior teams.
Players deserve all the credit. It's all on them to try to find the will to compete, and they've done it. They've done a good job of it, and they're going to win the game, we think.
There's a starting pass by Hemming, and the rebound put wide by Miettinen.
But they're going to do it in the way they've done it all tournament long, with offense.
Lots of scoring. George makes a quick stop there as Verhoff gathers it back up and knocked down by McKenna. Kept back alive by Beaulieu. Miettinen drops that back. Nieminen shoots, and George knocked that away. 2:45 to go in the third period. Beaulieu moves back in. Beaulieu pivots back on McKenna. And McKenna knocks that free. O'Reilly lifts it back out to center ice. Knocked away from Hayes. Hayes taking it hard by Nieminen.
He has had a rough ride in this game.
Canada looking for its 8th straight win against the Finns at the World Junior. Finland's last win was in the quarterfinals in Vancouver in 2019. Kiviharju shoots, bouncing puck loose in front. Got it back up by Ruohonen. Ruohonen for Valila. Saralainen jousting there with Aitchison. And the final 2 minutes now of the third. And Rippinen going to the Finnish bench. And oh, it's saved by Georgia Valila.
What a stop! Oh, I cannot believe it.
6 skaters on 5 for the Finns now. Pekarinen moves back in. Pekarinen plays it back across, picked up by Reshny, banks it back down to the Finnish zone. We'll see if Dale Hunter gets his guy Sam O'Reilly out there, his own player from London, to potentially get a hat trick here.
He's got a leg up on the boards.
Miettinen plays it back down. Danford on it. Now picked up by Vananen for Valila. 2 Vananen, 6 on 5 for Finland. Vananen back to Valila, tees it up and shoots, hit a leg. And here's Reshny away with MYA, but it's knocked down by Kiviharju. And on comes O'Reilly. Inside a minute to go in the third period. Pekarinen drops that back. Vananen shoots. George makes a stop on that. Beaulieu to the puck. Perek out there as well. Kiviharju drops it back to Beaulieu. Trying to feed that back across, and Baudouin got a stick on it. Kiviharju works it back across. Abandoned it. Williams' pass is knocked away. Another chance. Pecorino with a shot. Stopped by George. Perek on it. Work free. Misa to the line, but not quite up. Williams drops it back. Misa skated by it. And now finally bumped to center ice. Misa looks ahead for O'Reilly. That's knocked down. And Vestorina brings it back in, but Canada will leave this World Junior Championship with a bronze medal after a 6-3 win over Finland. And Canada will head to the 2027 World Junior Championship as a top 3 team from this tournament. And we'll have the presentation of the bronze medals, the Canadian national anthem. And Mike, you have spoken of this before from personal experience. So much better to win this game than not.
May not feel that important right now. I have so much respect for this Canadian team for getting together collectively and individually and making sure they played well and did not regret a poor performance with a bronze medal on the line. And they're good right from the get-go, creating offense and scoring chances, power play clicking once again. It's not the medal they wanted, but it is so much better than the alternative.
Let's go to Kenzie Lalonde.
Well, Porter, you're able to do what you were able to do last year, earn a medal here at the juniors. You said coming into this, the goal was bronze. So what are you most proud of this group being able to deliver that?
Yeah, I mean, it was definitely a tough turnaround from yesterday. You know, it's always tough when you lose in heartbreak fashion like that, but I'm proud of the group, how we regrouped, and came in and got a bronze medal today.
What did you learn about your team today?
Just how resilient we were. I know it was not easy for those guys in that room yesterday. I know there's a lot of tears shed and we felt heartbreak, but for that group to, you know, respond the way we did and played a really good 60-minute effort, that's huge for us, and I'm really happy with our result.
And you think of the personal takeaways for this. How will you take this experience on as your hockey career continues to evolve?
Yeah, whenever you get to, you know, honor, represent your country, it's a huge honor. You know, wearing this Maple Leaf, this was an amazing group. I had some of the best 3 weeks of my life here with these guys, and, you know, we got bonds here forever. It wasn't, you know, the result we wanted in a gold medal, but to walk away, you know, winning the last game is always a big thing.
Enjoy the moment.
Thank you very much.
Porter Martone played for Canada the World Championship last spring as well. Lots of experience in red and white. 16 of these Canadian players have won gold before at the under 18. They know each other so well. And
there's no doubt several will be back here and several will wear Canada again, but there's no guarantee for some of these players they will ever put a Canadian jersey on again. It is a special privilege that they've experienced the last few weeks. And to end off on a good note, really, really nice for them.
Faribault Mill blanket featuring the Land of 10,000 Rinks mural, specially commissioned for the 2026 IIHF World Junior Championship. Designed by Minnesota-based Indigenous artist Shauna Boulette-Grappentine as part of the Assist 26 community initiative. The artwork honors the indigenous lands and cultural teachings, as well as the deep hockey roots that define Minnesota. Today, presenting the awards, please welcome Kelly McGrath, Vice President and General Manager of Grand Casino Arena. The best player of the game for Team Finland is number 34, Arttu Välilä.
He was the overtime hero for the Finns in their quarterfinal upset of the United States. And the player of the game here in the bronze medal game.
And the best player of the game for Team Canada is number 9, Gavin McKenna.
Good for Gavin McKenna. Grabbed a goal, 4 points. So heavily scrutinized these last couple of weeks and will end up likely second in the tournament in scoring.
See Brady Martin there in the toque and the sling.
I hope he's not wearing that for too long.
We'll get the officials' awards, then the bronze medals, then the third place trophy.
The commemorative awards for the on-ice officials of the bronze medal game will now be presented by Franz Reindl, IIHF Council Member and 2026 IIHF World Junior Championship Chairperson. Welcome referees John Lindner and Adam Tobias, and linespersons Albert Anker Strarna and Matthew Heinen.
And like the players, the referees try to do a good job to get themselves the assignment in the medal rounds.
Franz Reindl, a legendary German player, now executive. And Germany will host the Men's World Championship in 2027 in Dusseldorf and Mannheim.
And now the bronze medals will be presented by Franz Reindl, IIHF Council Member and 2026 IIHF World Junior Championship Chairperson, Jonathan Goldblum, Chairman of the Board at Hockey Canada, and Bob Nicholson, Vice President of the International Ice Hockey Federation. And now, the 2026 IIHF World Junior Championship bronze medals go to Team Canada.
So Canada now 4-2 all-time in bronze medal games. Bronze medalists in 2000, 2001, 2012, and now here. But the gold medal drought stretches to 3 years. And that is the longest that Canada's had since the program of excellence began.
We show up every year with one of the best teams. This is probably the growth of some of the other teams around Canada impacts that as much as what Canada is doing. And unfortunately, the NHL and some of the top players eligible for Canada not being able to play in this tournament. But the players would tell you the guys in the room were good enough to get it done. Just lost a heartbreaker.
And we know this from all the international tournaments that in a one-game playoff, we've seen lots of upsets. And that's something to keep in mind with the Olympics approaching, men's and women's.
Great game.
Far more likely in a 7-game series that the better team would prevail, but Canada will feel proud about what they accomplished today. And what a difference a year makes, though. Just the way the team last year played compared to the way the team this year played. And just all the talent and skill and creativity they showed this year.
44 goals scored in 7 games.
6 1/4. And their lowest scoring game was against Latvia.
Right, 2-1 overtime win.
We did it.
And unlike the Olympics where only players get medals,
coaches deserve medals here.
Yeah, coaches, support staff all get medals, but at the Olympics, only players.
Maybe make some replicas for the coaches. They're part of the...
I'm pretty sure that's illegal to make a replica of an Olympic gold medal. I'm going to say that was...
Why would it be
that would be frowned upon, yes.
Illegal?
Well,
they have copyrights on those things? Might be costly.
Yes, there is that.
These guys will have some more moments in the dressing room after the game, post-game meal tonight, and then they'll scatter.
Yeah, it's not just gold medal teams that have great bonds. You know, these guys will see each other down the road in the NHL and elsewhere, and the time they shared over the holidays together.
Every time they cross paths in the NHL, warm up, face-offs, little smile, little wink, little familiarity with each other.
And as we mentioned, 10 can come back next year. We'll see how many are available, given NHL commitments and elsewhere, but
probably, I would imagine a good portion of those 10 would be available next year. Michael, think about the NHL eligible guys. You guys about to get drafted?
Yeah, so you've got the 3 draft eligible for Canada: Gavin McKenna, Keaton Verhoff, and Carson Karls.
Will McKenna be in the NHL next year? That's an interesting question. Just don't have enough time for it here.
Go back to Penn State, finish off his season there.
Evan Kovic, the goaltender, will be back next year.
Yeah, in all likelihood.
Fans, please welcome back IIHF Council Member and 2026 IIHF World Junior Championship Chairperson Franz Reindl to present the 3rd place award. Will the captain of Team Canada please come forward to accept the 3rd place award?
Porter Martone very quietly leading the tournament in goals.
Yeah.
Solid tournament for the captain, and really spoke eloquently about what the team's gone through the last couple days.
Now we invite you to please stand, if you are able to do so, for the national anthem of Canada.
No arm-in-arm singing of "O Canada," which is the way they wanted this tournament to end, but good to see a lot of smiles on those faces because they go 6-1. They score 42 goals, one of the best offensive World Juniors ever for a Canadian team. But in Canada, the standards are different, so still disappointed that they weren't playing for gold tonight. But Porter Martone and Canada win the bronze medal. And you guys said before you said last night how much difficulty you would have had. You never had to. You got to play for gold in Red Deer, but it would have been impossible, I think you said, to get up for this bronze medal game. You got to give them a lot of credit for getting up and playing a really good hockey game.
And it was scary at the beginning of the game. You could hear conversations on the ice. It was so quiet. But to Canada's credit, James, they pulled it together and they got the job done. As I mentioned, 10 years from now, when you see a guy in the NHL and warm up, it's so much better to give him the smile, give him the wink, and say we won a bronze together, as opposed to we're another team that didn't get it done. They showed up and they played, so good on them.
We heard Porter Martone talking about it, the bond that these guys had, and it's such a weird thing because you could lose the gold medal game and you lost your last game, but you won a silver. But you win this game and you leave the rink feeling a little bit better about yourself. It's fascinating how it works, but that's hopefully what these guys will remember from this, the bonds that they shared and grew together, and now it ends with a win.
Well, in about a decade, you could get a group text when everyone's watching the World Juniors. Remember when we were there? And yeah, you walk the walk together, but they do get this bronze medal together. And for the first time in the last 3 years, they do go home with something. So as you're right, it stings right now, but Mike Johnson said it. He said you got to give them a lot of credit right now. They put the jersey on, they wore it with pride, and they delivered today in that 6-3 victory.
And as the guys mentioned 10 possible returnees for Team Canada next year in Edmonton, where the atmosphere will be much different than it was here in Minnesota. Very bizarre bronze medal game with a very small crowd and quite dead in the building, frankly, as Gavin McKenna and Canada salutes the crowd here, those who came on to cheer them to bronze today. Back to wrap up after this.
The 2020